What's up,
Sorry.
I gotta get
Say the fucking alphabet right now.
So fucking happy.
I gotta get a punishment shot.
Yeah.
We're starting this show perfectly great. So I gotta spin the fucking wheel because Red is dead, and I said Crystal's real name.
Go.
Even though it's not on the show, but it was in the red.
Is dead.
Red is dead. So here goes my spin. It's probably gonna be a Crystal Picks.
That would be perfect.
Shit was aggressive.
What is it? Daddy Picks.
Oh Jesus! You know what? It is my show.
Yes.
But you know what? Since she does this perfectly, I am going to defer to Crystal.
What the fuck?
Hey,
What the fuck is that shit?
he's daddy right now.
bullshit.
He's daddy right now. He can make that management call.
Exactly.
Daddy, what's my punishment? Crystal, what's my punishment? Oh, fuck me. This is bullshit.
Crystal is an artist at this.
Anyways,
Good or bad?
today,
You chip on your glasses.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been there.
been
It's
like
fine. It's not hurting it.
Good or bad shot?
What?
Good or
You wanted
bad
a-
shot?
1 being hell, 10 being delicious. Where you want that scale?
Well, I'm trapped. He's got to run. He's a room go that way. 7.5.
Fuck. It's still high. All right.
Hey, I could have said 10.
Anyways, today for the last of our animated series, we do have a 5th one in the works, but it's going to be probably coming down the road, maybe in the summertime or something like that for Wally. But this is the last one for this little series that we're doing. We are doing the Pixar's Cars. Which Adam is hosting for this one. Cars was released June 9th, 2006. It was directed by John Lasseter, which we've talked about before. Lasseter is a key figure in Pixar animation. Other movies he's done is Toy Story, A Bug's Life, Toy Story 2, and Cars 2. And then after that, he became more of a producer of Pixar films and having other directors have a chance to do other ones. And Pixar has become a huge business when it comes to CGI animated movies.
Oh, yeah.
And everything else. The details for Cars, the budget for the movie was $120 million. It made $462 million worldwide. So it was a huge fucking hit.
Oh, yes.
The
A little bit okay.
yeah.
It did okay.
Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie was a 74% critical, and for user score is a 79%, which I was a little shocked at. I thought it'd be higher than that. The movie was a huge success, though, and it actually came up to like 2 other sequels, and also isn't there a Planes movie too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
And animated spin-offs and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Little short films.
Short fan.
3
Ghost
sequels.
Lights. Made her into
Yeah.
Ghost Lights.
Yes.
Yep, 2 other sequels.
Jesus. Yeah, I only watched the first one. I've never seen any of the other ones, but
Ghost Lights. Wasn't that also what from It? What they referred to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would have been a very different movie.
Was that also in Finding Nemo? Was that what that one fish that had the light, the very like deep seas that had the light? Did they call that the ghost light?
That's
No.
the anglerfish.
The anglerfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember when they first saw it. If they were like,
Which was a-
I
that
couldn't
might have
remember.
been. Might have
which
been.
was a huge thing on TikTok at one point. The
Yeah.
anglerfish that went up to the man, you topped that off. Jesus Christ, you really want to kill me here.
That's the .5.
Okay. It's like I'm getting 2 shots here. All right. Anyways, the cast for this movie, we got Owen Wilson as Lightning McQueen. We got Paul Newman as Doc Hudson. We got Bonnie Hunt as Sally Kira. We got Larry the Cable Guy as Mater.
How do you
Yeah,
say
Mater.
how do you say Sally's name again?
Don't do it.
I don't know. Carrera.
It's a
How do you say it?
it's a model of a car.
Oh, Sierra?
Close.
I'm not saying it again. Fuck you guys. That's my number 2. I'm not going 3rd.
Carrera.
Carrera.
Oh, okay. Okay, Carrera. Tony Shalhoub as Luigi. We got Guido Corny as Guido. We got Cheech. Cheech was in this, which
Yes.
is
Oh, yeah.
interesting, as
Fillmore.
Ramon. We got Michael Wallace as
Oh no,
Sheriff.
he was, yeah. my bad.
George Cullen as Fillmore.
Yep.
We got Paul Dooley as Sarge. We got Jennifer Lewis as Flo. Michael Keaton as Chick Hicks, which was pretty cool.
I wish Arlie Ermy was Sarge.
I think that would have been
That
better.
would have been
spot on.
Did he pass away before? Because
No, he was it 2011, 2014?
because I know he was in
He
Toy
was
Story.
definitely alive.
Okay,
100%.
because he was in Toy Story. I remember that he was one of the soldiers in Toy Story. Richard Petty as the king. Then we have also John Ratzenberger as Mac, a Pixar regular, who basically is in all the Pixar movies. He's
Every
got that. He's
single
from
one of them.
Cheers. Yeah, he's just. And I think there was even a whole thing at the end where they were making
In
fun
the credits.
of him. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the
Yep.
end credits.
And don't forget Joe Rampt, who he's been in a lot of stuff. He actually passed away at the end of this movie in a car accident.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
kind of ironic.
So I want to be a beautiful butterfly from Bugs Life.
yes.
That
They
was-
did
that was him.
dedication to that.
He was the Peterbilt that said, "I'm no Mac."
Yeah.
Mac, I'm a Peterbilt. Yeah.
That and
Okay.
I enjoyed the joke. I enjoyed the semi jokes
Yeah.
in this. Other movies that come out at the same time. There's actually some decent ones here. Cars, of course. A Prairie Home Companion. The Breakup, which I think is underrated. It's not bad with what's his name and Jennifer Aniston.
Reynolds.
No.
No, it's got what's the tall dude that's in a lot of movies? I can't believe Vince Vaughn.
It's fun.
Vince
Okay,
Vaughn,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I remember. I know what you're
breakup?
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
That where he talks about his,
lemons, baby gets lemons.
no, but that's the one where the
They-
clip
they
you're
went to-
talking about what a whore her sister is and
Yes.
stuff like
They
that.
went up to Alaska.
Yeah.
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 Then we also got Garfield, A Tale of Two Kittens. Then we got Click, which is an Adam Sandler movie. Never
Love
seen
that
Without the
movie.
remote with the great Christopher Walken.
Yes. Waist Deep. Then you got Superman Returns, and then The Devil Wears Prada, which I believe was an Oscar winner. I think Helen Mirren won
a
an
good
Oscar for that one. But that's the details for the movie. So I'm going to hand it off to Adam. He's got an interesting drink for us to try out. So I'll do the punishment afterwards.
Okay.
So I'm going to probably use that as my chaser afterwards. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
That'll be great.
So looking at the research, trying to find out what to do for this. Just looking up, and I came across a drink called gasoline, and it is 1/3 tequila, 1/3 gin, and 1/3 vodka.
I'm just wondering if it was a bad idea for me to have just ate.
You're not going
I
to.
had some you.
You're
You're kind of giving me.
hey, you're as long as you're at that end, I'm fine. Trash can is 10 feet that way.
I'll just arc it.
And of course,
Crystal run.
I'm not gonna lie. I would be super impressed.
I would too.
All right, I would be super impressed.
Because the arch that's going to have to just
Exactly.
make the ceiling and come back down.
It'd be a thing of beauty until it's not. It's like, oh.
the interesting about this drink is that it's 1/3 in just a regular shot glass. I went ahead and did a tall shot glass because we're men and we're going to drink more. Adam's got the little small one because
No, shut up. Don't say it. Oh, she's got one.
Oh, Crystal?
Am I a man?
No, not at all.
Oh my God.
That's not what I meant.
Sitting right here.
Hey,
You,
Crystal,
you are just so rude today.
Yes, I guess.
is there room in that glass for 2.5?
Crystal, come on next to Chase. You can so we can watch you take this shot with us because she's going to try this. Because I meant to pour 4, but I poured 5. Mike, you also got one in front of you too.
He
He just
put it over
can't
here because your
fucking
table's
count.
slanted.
Mike
And so
actually
he was
used,
worried about it.
So we used the cheap
Man.
tequila. He used his like 160 bottle of tequila. Because that's all you had.
Ooh,
So these ratings,
fancy pants, McGee
Yeah.
over there.
so his ratings may be a little bit higher.
That tequila in it.
So I guess here we go.
Gasoline, baby.
Prost.
Prost. And across state lines, Prost.
No, that's not good.
Okay.
Actually, the gin helps.
The gin helps a lot.
That's what I was just about to say.
No, it does not.
It does.
It does. It gives it a little bit of a flavor. Actually, that's not bad.
Oh my God. Tastes like cough syrup.
Whoa, you got the nice tequila. We got like shit tequila in ours.
So tequila,
gin
gin,
spoils it
and
for
what was
me.
the third?
Vodka.
Vodka. Okay.
The Taka vodka.
yeah.
So the shit vodka.
The vodka and gin together really bring it up.
Yeah.
Because you hit and the first thing you get's that tequila and I'm like, ugh.
Mike is nodding his head like "fuck you." That's not the way it's gonna be.
That was weird. You had this going on.
Yeah, it's still kind of like as I'm breathing, I can
goes
taste it
back
again.
and forth.
And the gin gives it a nice floral ending.
Yeah, it
Yes.
does.
All right.
It's quite.
And
there's a little brightness to
and
it.
there's a little bit of a bite, just a small bite to it, but it like fades. That's how I see it. Like when you first take it,
That's
slight-
moderately enjoyable.
That's
no one bad.
not bad.
You actually liked it? I didn't think you'd like it.
I'm burping.
Again,
What do you
what?
think? Gin.
I'm just like, I keep burping juniper. But no, you're right. The gin does make it better.
Yeah, if it was just the tequila and vodka, it would probably taste like shit.
Oh wow, it's like you guys are starting to, really build an appreciation for gin. I wonder where that came from.
We appreciate
This is
it.
your,
like gunpowder.
this is your Amsterdam. This is your Amsterdam gin, by the way.
That's good.
She said she doesn't like gunpowder.
It's very intense on the berry.
Okay.
I think it's
I don't
amazing.
always like the juniper taste,
Yeah.
and that's just
And
always.
I can understand.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't be. They're not. That is the main component. That's why it's gin, juniper. But
What's the drink you make with the yellow stuff?
Yellow
lemonade.
No, Tim Collins. My dad jokes around and calls it.
Oh, Tom Collins.
Tom Collins. My dad calls it a Tim Collins. That's why I was like, "What's the real name?"
Okay.
If I'm making that with the gunpowder, really all I taste is the juniper, and
Okay.
sometimes I'm not looking for that.
Okay. No, I can respect
Interesting.
that.
Interesting. Okay.
I tell you what I've fallen in love with and became my daily drinker was the blanking on the name now. The
It was a
Mexican
pink.
gin.
It was a pink bottle. I remember.
Yeah, the Mexican gin. Do we still have a bottle here?
No, you took it home.
Okay.
I think you did. Or no, I did. I leave it here for somebody else to try out.
I thought I left it here.
At the break, I'll bring it over if we
So
have
it's
it.
like a pinkish bottle with a Mexican.
Gins are in the back
Lady on
underneath the shelf over there. If there is, it's a pink round bottle.
head straight back. There you go.
Yeah,
Condesa?
around that
Somewhere in
area.
there.
That might have been it.
Yeah, Condesa.
I
Yes,
think-
yes.
I
That's it. Yeah.
I think you took it
Yeah,
home.
Condesa.
I think
There
you
it
took-
is.
No. All right. Well, I haven't touched it.
An orange blossom.
Is it Contessa?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, go ahead and try some of that.
Yeah, that stuff's not good. Not bad. But
Yeah, that
it-
stuff
it
is
does
good.
it. It's not gunpowder though. Gunpowder's better.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
But no, this has become my stock. At
I
home
know.
now.
I know. I'll take my punishment. Don't
Maybe
worry.
we can do it together.
There you go.
Okay.
Damn, who the fuck was that?
Wasn't me.
I'm not.
I think it may have been Mike.
That sounded
God.
fucking raunchy.
That
No,
sounds
no,
like
that was me going.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a burp.
is
I
this
was
watermelon,
Nope. There's not an ounce of watermelon in that.
mango. Okay. All right. Well, cheers, Crystal.
didn't we have a discussion about you really shouldn't be sniffing your drinks every
And
time?
Chase, if you haven't had some, go ahead and try some of that. Surprising, isn't it?
Don't look this way.
I'm not gonna puke. That's nasty. What the fuck? Is that the same
Yeah.
shit you made for me last time that I didn't like? Because it doesn't taste good.
Vodka, Smirnoff Tamarind, Black Seal, Black Rum,
Black Seal, black rum,
and
tamarind,
Truly Vodka.
truly vodka. Okay. Not pleasant.
No,
No, not a fan of that. All right, well, let's go ahead and get our reviews of the gasoline. So, Chase, how about you go first?
I'm gonna give it a thumb and a half.
Okay, thumb and a half. That's
It's,
not bad.
it's not wonderful, but it's not bad.
Okay.
I kind of fuck with it, but it's definitely not
Were
one
you
of those.
expecting that though?
No,
Exactly.
no, I was expecting dog shit. And right at the beginning, you're like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna suck." Wait a minute, that doesn't suck as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
As those other flavors started to come in from the gin and vodka, I'm like, "Oh, it's actually quite nice."
Yeah. Okay. So 1.5.
Yeah.
Mike?
Okay. I got to preface by saying I used the good tequila, and I also used a gin that my son got from my wife for Christmas, and it might have a botanical in it,
Okay.
so that might have skewed it for me too. And I'm not a gin fan, except for the one that
Stu brought
Crystal
in.
just tried. I like that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did try it last time you were here.
I did that.
Yeah.
That one I loved. For me, it's like I'd say half a thumb, simply because my good tequila was in there. It smelled great. Like when I smelled it, I'm thinking I'm gonna love this, and then I tasted it, and I got cough syrup and gin,
Yeah.
and it just that the gin just spoiled it for me. I know you guys all thought the gin brought it up. For me, the gin threw it under the table, walked on it, and then put it in my mouth.
Damn.
I'm going to go ahead and give this a 2. It's not bad. Actually, I could, like I
It
said,
really grows on you.
like I said, when you think of the tequila, gin, and vodka, you would think that this is not going to be a good combination. It's going to be like kind of like shit gasoline. But the gin, now if they put something else other than gin, like Everclear or something like that, yeah, this would probably
You ever
suck.
taste gasoline?
No.
Yeah.
What time is it? I did about 4 hours ago.
I mean, the smell of it, yeah. But juniper in the gin really levels it out. It there's that little bite to it in the beginning, and then it mellows. It actually does not taste bad at all. It's actually a nice, easy. It's a nice, easy shot just to get drunk and just constantly take shots of this of. It's not hard to take. I enjoyed it. This is two. It was. I was a little shocked. I thought
It's
this was going to
way
be.
smoother than it should have been.
I thought this was going to be like a half thumb or maybe a 0. I did not expect this to be as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like I said, the gin really helped. So I have to give props to Stu because he's the gin maniac here from last year's theme. But I've grown a fond taste of gin now, and it worked.
I kind of want to carbonate it now.
We have it right there. Stu is the carbonated.
Because after all,
Right behind me.
with electronic fuel injection,
True.
I mean, hey, we could set it up during break, and you can go ahead and do
It
something.
would just take a lot in order to get a good carbonation. That's
Try
a
it out.
lot.
I mean, that's what we have it for. So, Stu,
I'm gonna give it
wanna
a
be the
1.
finale.
I'll give it a 1. The gin definitely made it brighter.
Yeah.
And I think that elevated it a lot. Much smoother than expected. Because I'm assuming that traditionally it's not good. That's why they call it gasoline, because it probably kicks you in the fucking teeth, I'm guessing. This one actually, the 3 flavors mixed really fucking well together, and then brightened up, and I'm pleasantly surprised.
okay,
Yeah.
Adam?
I was surprised. I was truly expecting unleaded.
Yeah.
I truly was. And I'm going to give it at least 1. I'll go 1.25. It surprisingly, and I'm going to preface it. I don't drink a lot, and to me, it did. The aftertaste was pleasant.
Is that juniper taste?
Yeah, and it
Yep.
yeah, and it was like as you're sitting there, as you're breathing, it's like it's coming back. It's coming back. It was like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it truly surprised me. When I first read it, I'm like, this is not going to be good. Even Anna says that sounds bad. So she's going to be surprised
When you texted it to me, I was like, that sounds great for the show, but I think that's going to taste like shit.
I have to say this. I know I haven't had a second shot, but I can't fight this feeling that this is one of those shots that you remember it better than it was, though.
Yeah.
I just feel like because of that back end gin,
I'm going to say
bringing
no.
it up.
I'm going to say no because I purposely split mine in half so I could do aerated and stuff
okay.
like that, and appreciate the flavor profile on both the front, middle, and end.
So
in
for
order
everybody
to-
that would actually
yeah.
take this like a shot instead of sipping it like a sommelier,
Right.
you're probably going to remember it better than it was somehow. And it's a weird concept. I don't know if you've ever had a drink like that before where you're like, oh, I had this like a year ago. Let's do it.
No, I think it's about right. What like I said, having it in halves the way I did it. I knew what to expect the second time I was going in.
Yeah.
And it was right there. It was the exact same level, and I was just making sure that I wasn't getting punched in the teeth too much by the front end or the burn or whatever. And no, it wasn't there. It's
Now you
exactly what it
you
is.
said you used a low end tequila and a low end
I
vodka.
did low in everything. Yeah. Low in tequila, low in vodka, and low in gin.
So I'm wondering if those, being that they were low end, all mixed better than
Probably.
Mike's, who was mixing some top shelf
they're all
stuff that
low
were
end.
fighting
They're-
each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's-
his
I think
tastes
That
were
is-
fighting
I
each
think
other.
that is what it was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, because the low end stuff is meant to be mixed. That's what
Right.
they are meant to be muddy
Yeah.
with other flavors and not.
We're
be
aware
dominant.
this is dog shit. You're gonna put it in soda. It doesn't have to be that good.
Yeah,
It was a middle shelf vodka too. It wasn't top shelf, but it was a middle shelf vodka.
what was the expensive one that you had? Was it the gin or was it was it tequila?
Tequila, yeah.
tequila was? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, expensive tequila should not be mixed.
So I'm curious if you had top of the shelf for all three mixed in, do you think it would be bad or good?
I think you'd be mad.
I think it'd be worse.
Yeah, I think you'd be mad because the flavors, the individual flavors will be fighting each other
So was this like
instead of just going with
Bennett's
flow.
bottom shelf or
Oh yeah, like the vodka is like $6 tequila. The tequila is like under $10.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, the how much is Amsterdam? Isn't that like $20?
Yeah, just
it's
normal. I mean, that's just
normal
it isn't.
price.
It isn't. Gin isn't. You can get some super expensive gins. You can also get some super cheap gins.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they all live right there.
I picked that one because I thought that one was one of the cheapest ones we had. There was a whole bunch of them, but I didn't want to get your top shelf stuff. So I was trying to do everything shitty. So, but this was good.
Just try to get rid of the old stuff.
Yeah. Good pick. So we're gonna go ahead and that's our drink right there. Our details. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back.
What?
Hey, having a hard time trying to stay up, trying to record these podcasts late at night?
Or are you up late, working, driving trucks, working in the shop, trying to provide for that damn family of yours?
You need coffee.
Well, let us tell you about this one company we got right here. It's called Coffee Bros. Now, they got a very select blend of different roasts, light roast, medium, dark, espresso. Now, each one of these has its own flavor profile.
These two brothers from New York made this amazing company with an amazing coffee that you could order online.
So you just had the espresso roast.
Yes.
And did that thing wake you up?
I couldn't go back to sleep. Oh, man. It was smooth. It
Nice.
had that nice chocolate taste to it. You can just taste the chocolate.
And it doesn't give you that bite like other coffees do.
Or bitter.
No, definitely not bitter at all. This is smooth, sweet, aromatic. This coffee here will absolutely wake you up when you need it to.
The coffee here is dedicated to freshness, quality, and consistency. Use the code BAF10 to get 10% off your entire order. The link for the website is in our show description. And I'm telling you guys, it's worth it. This coffee keeps you awake, especially for the late podcasting that we do.
Yeah, it's very much needed.
Try out Coffee Bros. Coffee Bros! All right, guys, we are back with our animated series, Cars. I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Adam. He's hosting, and let's get into this. So, Adam, let's go for it.
All right. Well, welcome to Radiator Springs, the cutest little town in Carburetor County, is what Mater said. But it's Cars is pretty much the universe where there's no humans. It is the cars are the life forms of this universe. If you look at them, they're the windshields of their eyes. We'll go over some of the other body parts later. But I was doing some reading, and one of the neat things they said is that if there's no scenes where you see the interior of any of the vehicles except one, and that's the helicopter where Mater's riding in it.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So they're essentially giving the resemblance as that is the body, and you're not seeing inside of the body.
Yeah.
But you know, the movie starts out at the Dynaco 400, and you've got your main characters of Chick Hicks,
Which is Michael Keaton, I believe.
Michael Keaton.
Which you could definitely see his voice. I heard a little bit of a Beetlejuice in there.
Yeah, he did.
With the voice that he did and everything
Yep.
else, but he had that very excitable. He's really good voice actor. Actually, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed him as Chick
Hicks.
Hicks. Yeah, the green car.
Yep. You've got the King, which actually was the voice of Richard Petty. The King's wife is in this. That is actually Richard Petty's wife.
Oh shit!
Yes, that is Linda Petty. And Lightning McQueen, which was Owen Wilson.
Which Lightning McQueen is also in that name based off of a character in the '70s race,
Steve McQueen, is that what you think?
yes, that's what I was
Steve
thinking.
McQueen, man.
No,
I don't think it is.
Was it not? Okay,
it's not.
No.
okay, or maybe
I know exactly where the name comes from.
It's where's it come from? Because it does sound familiar.
Adam, do you have this?
I
down as
don't
one of your-
have that part. I do have where they kind of loosely based the mannerisms of Lightning McQueen actually off of Michael Jordan.
Yes,
I mean,
a lot of it. Yeah.
dunk was-
Yes, you know how when Michael Jordan would sometimes dunk, he would stick his tongue out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where Lightning McQueen in the first race, and,
Yeah,
and he
he's
goes to
using
the
the tongue
crash
as-
and he bounces and he's flying through the air and he sticks his tongue out?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
That's pretty interesting.
That's
okay.
They kind of loosely based him off of Michael Jordan.
Interesting.
Now,
okay.
now the name, no, I did not see that. So go ahead, Mike.
So Lightning McQueen, his name is an Easter egg derived from Glenn McQueen, who worked with John Lasseter in several movies, and then he passed away. So in honor of him, they named the character after him.
Oh, okay.
that's
Okay,
okay.
that's pretty cool.
See, I thought it was based off of like
Well,
a.
when you hear McQueen, you think Steve.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right away. And I always thought it was Steve McQueen because he was a rebel.
Yeah.
And they said in Hollywood he was a little bit hard to work with.
Oh,
Yeah.
And he loved racing.
Which this character
Yes,
was
he
hard
did.
to work with. I mean, he
But
was,
is he the one that died in Little Bastard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he's a diva basically. That's what he was. Also, chick.
So more like Chevy Chase.
Let's go ahead and make it sports related. Let's do it more like Aaron Rodgers.
Touche.
There you go.
Yep.
But yeah, no, Lightning McQueen was a punk. I mean, it's pretty much what he was throughout the whole most of the movie until coming towards the end. But they're racing in the Dynaco 400, which is real close to what the Daytona 400 is. And Chick Hicks, being the absolute dick of the movie, causes a major accident.
So Chick Hicks is what? Jeff Gordon?
I mean, Robin is racing.
Tony Stewart.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
Tony
kind of
Stewart.
combination of the
Robin is racing.
Robin's racing. He rubbed a little harder than normal, but anyway.
Some girls like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Little DJ
Well,
action.
yeah. Later in the movie, we found out that me and Tia really enjoyed it because they became a fan of his.
Yeah.
But and we'll go over me and Tia later.
I'd love to have a couple Miatas, you know? Take that however you want, I guess.
Oh, you get.
So, so he creates the accident, essentially setting up the race where there's three left, and that's the King, Lightning, and Chick.
Right.
Everybody else was wiped out in the accident.
Yep.
Lightning, being the punk that it was, figured he was smarter than everybody else, stayed out on the yellow, didn't get tires,
Rookie mistake.
rookie mistake, went all the way to the very end. Just before he reaches he's around the turn 3, blows one tire, round turn 4, blows the other, and he's literally limping.
Yeah.
I mean, you see him just limping across the line and wins by a tongue.
Yeah.
Or not done win, ties by a tongue.
Yeah.
Ties
Yeah.
by a
What
tongue.
was it? Triple
So he was
tie?
tongue-tied.
Was it triple tie?
It was a three-way tie,
Yeah.
which set up a three-way final race in California.
At the what was it called? The one in California, the race that they had, the one that Doc was a part of. That
Piston. Well, it was the
piston.
They were racing the
the
Dynaco
Piston
400.
Cup.
They
It
were
was the
racing
Piston
for
Cup.
the Piston Cup.
Yeah, but no, that was the name of the race. That was the
Yeah.
name of the race series.
Race
Oh,
series,
okay,
like
okay.
the Winston Cup.
Yeah.
So what it was is the Dynaco 400 was supposed to settle who wins the Piston Cup.
Okay.
Is it
Okay.
still the Winston Cup anymore?
It's not.
I didn't think so.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying that's what. And at this time, it was close
Yeah.
to it, and that's kind of what it was related to.
Yeah.
So where in California was the final race?
It was at the Los Angeles Speedway, wasn't it?
No, it was in Evansville.
What's Evansville?
That's where that's where Pixar Studios is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so it's
But,
another Easter egg right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they called it the Los Angeles Speedway, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Evansville,
Yeah.
I think, is right outside of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Well,
So
question I do have to ask. Everybody, I'm sure everybody watches racing, right? Like, are you big on racing?
No.
Okay. Chase, how about you? You being with cars.
Cars.
I figured.
Cars.
so
Because most people go to the races just to see the crashes. I mean, that's mainly what a lot of people go to see and everything else. Are you a big fan of racing?
I go
Well,
back and forth. I haven't watched a whole lot recently, but there's times I'll watch.
It depends
quite a bit,
which
and
which
so-
type of racing. If it's NASCAR, you're there for beer and wrecks.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's rally, it's for the thrill of not getting hit by the car.
The
Or
F1
parts of the car.
Or trying not to.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's F1, You're actually probably in there to watch how
Watch the
well these
sport
guys
of the
are,
race,
are
yeah.
blowing past
Yeah.
each other.
Because the F1s are a lot faster than NASCAR, right?
Yeah.
By
It's
like,
a totally different skill. It's a much better skill level.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane.
I mean, so in any racing, your main skill is holding the line. In NASCAR, you have to hold a single line throughout one track 500 times.
right.
Yeah.
Except for the road courses.
Well,
The road courses are my favorite races.
that's fair.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, on like Daytona 500, Richmond International, it is an oval track. You're holding
Left turn, left turn, left turn.
over
left
and
turn.
over,
Left,
and
left,
everybody
left,
goes, "Oh, they wrecked!"
Yeah.
Because I guess they can't turn left correctly. I don't know. It's weird to be a professional and fuck that up.
See, I've never.
no, it's not
Everybody
turning
is
left.
in that
I'm
spot.
being an asshole. Okay, I know.
The problem is the one time when somebody accidentally turns right is what the problem is.
That's when they decided to just change things.
And then it's,
All right?
then it's basically a chain reaction. And then
What
everybody
happened out there?
crashes.
I got bored. But no, F1 is absolute. Yeah, you're looking at like 200 some miles an hour in NASCAR oval track. In F1, you're looking at what 270.
Yeah.
Some what their new E class or the no, there's not the electric. No, I think usually you're looking at 280, 290.
Yeah.
I mean, you're usually not hitting 300 because there's not long enough speed straightaway for it. But
Right.
you got these guys that are in absolutely purpose built. I mean, NASCAR by definition is supposed to be
Stock,
or was
but,
always supposed to be based on a general model. You have to meet weight requirements, you have to meet horsepower output requirements, and all this other stuff to be almost identical. And a lot of that same stuff is applied for F1.
Yeah.
But in F1, it is instead of taking a passenger car and modifying it to go fast as shit, you're taking a bunch of metal tubes and bending them in ways to contain the most powerful engine you can.
Okay.
And make it stick to the ceiling if you go fast enough.
Yeah.
So with a Formula One vehicle, you are actually supposed to be able to, by downforce, get it up to like 150 and turn if you're in a tunnel and get up
Yes.
on the ceiling and stay there.
Yeah.
Their coefficients on drag, downforce, and everything, they're insane.
Yeah.
They're usually running V10 engines that are only about that big instead of these gigantic fucking engine blocks, and they rev up to 17,000 RPM like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
They're absolutely nuts. Everything about them is terrifyingly incredible.
yeah.
I'm a fan of old school, like original NASCAR, which was a bunch of people just taking up their stock cars and modifying the fuck out of them. Whoever was the best driver and the best modifier,
Dude,
was
some
fucking
of the
winning. They were
stories-
cheating like a mother.
Oh yeah, because they had cut and dry rules.
Yes.
If it's going to be on the vehicle when you race it, there better be a part number on there where I can buy it off over the counter.
Right.
You had these motherfuckers; they'd go buy a car from Chevy or whatever, and then dunk it in an acid bath and leave it there until the roof panel was barely thick enough to hold the weight of a cup or a bottle on top, because it would cut hundreds of pounds off of that fucker.
Yeah.
And
The lighter, the more faster it would go. Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But nobody would notice it because it was the entire car.
Yeah.
Or they'd take, oh, you know what? These Porsche calipers fit this Chevy really well. You have to be able to buy it from Chevy. Oh, okay. Hey, parts guy. You put in a part number for this, and I'm going to buy it from you if you can go source those calipers over there.
There was another one. I forget his name now. I'll tell me, but he was famous for just gaming the fuck
No,
out.
both
the
of those
system.
stories I told you are from him.
Yeah.
I don't
The-
remember his name.
Oh yeah, the one like he had requirements like gas tank can only be but so big or whatever. So he's like, okay, he put an inflated basketball in his gas tank, so this way they'd measure the amount of fuel that would go in for measuring and the amount of fuel come out. Then he'd fucking deflate it in order to then have a few more gallons.
So they would cheat.
Oh, they would
Or-
cheat like a motherfucker.
Or okay, you can use fuel lines. He's like, okay, didn't say how
Big-
much the diameter of the
big
fuel line
diameter,
could
right.
be. He's like, okay, I'm going to use about 300% larger fucking fuel lines, than everybody else does, so I can store another 6 gallons
In the
just
line
in
itself.
the line
Right.
themselves.
Yeah.
So less pit stops.
What was another one?
Here's the problem. In 1970, Richard Petty had the Plymouth Superbird. It was so dominant as a stock car that they banned it after his season because he won so many races.
Yeah, because the Superbird. You know which one that
Beautiful
is. That's the one with the
That's the
you
one
saw
that they show in the movie here.
with the big spoiler on it.
Yeah.
That's the Superbird. Those things were so powerful off the factory that they had to warn their customers not to floor the gas because they would twist and bend their own chassis under the force of torque.
Jesus Christ.
Those things were insane.
Wow.
Another trick that same guy did. I can't remember
know.
his fucking name right now. So for pit stops, you are changing out tires, obviously, but also doing brake jobs. Most of the time, these brake jobs, it was you have to get in there, you have to compress the brake pistons, and you can swap everything out. Well, the whole idea was anything that's on that vehicle, you have to be able to buy over the counter. So he bought an additional brake booster.
Yep.
Put it under the passenger side dashboard
Yeah.
and hooked that into a reverse valve on the brake pistons.
Right.
So that when he pulled into the pit, he could flip a switch on that, detract the caliper pistons instead of having his pit crew having to wedge in there. He'd pull in, done, and they'd pull out the old brakes, pop in the new ones, and he was gone almost a minute faster than some of the other guys.
Jesus.
Another one he did was this is before they had complete basically cutouts of what the car is supposed to be.
Oh yeah, they had to put stencils across it.
Yeah, they just had small little ones they would do just make sure the curves are right and stuff like that. So he figured out he could take his car, he could build a 5/8 replica of it.
Yeah.
All right, and it would still match the curves that they would measure everything in.
Right.
Just be a little bit smaller, which means a little bit lighter. Which means everything is just that much more efficient, that much better on everything, that much more power.
Yeah.
He's like, but they couldn't fucking nail them because all their testing material was standardized. Like, fuck, we know you're doing it, but you made it so you passed the test.
Yeah.
Even though you're a fucking cheater.
Like some of the things these guys came up with was just incredible. And
But that was that I appreciate that because honestly, it shouldn't be just about an endurance race who can go the longest without fucking up because that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And
What it's turned
it's a
into.
massive amount of endurance. Don't get me wrong. They lose
oh my god, yeah,
fucking pounds and pounds
the water weight just
yeah.
in the race.
Exactly. It's a massive amount of endurance. I'm not saying they aren't athletes because they absolutely are to deal with what they're dealing with. And they're smart. They
Well,
are.
it's skill too.
But-
I mean,
But racing should be both a combination of the vehicle and the driver. All right. Otherwise, fuck it. Just have goddamn sprinters. All right. Just have other. If all the vehicles are gonna be the same,
50-50.
fuck it.
It's also the pit crew too. I mean, 'cause
Yes.
the pit crew has to be fast enough to
And that's kind of where I like when rally is the newer age of rally. I don't know, man. There's just so many electronic systems in there that are doing half your negotiation for traction nowadays. And
That you're taking away the skill level then.
Everything's
like
based on
I
computers.
understand,
Yeah.
but I don't like it. I want to be, yes, put in an incredible braking system. Sure. Put in an amazing engine. Awesome. Make some badass suspension systems and specialized tires. No problem. Give me the most technology you can on that. That's badass.
Yeah.
Now I can utilize it the best I can with my skill level. But when you're going through a rally race, especially that's there to test your skill on various terrain, tarmac, mud, gravel, whatever else, why are you giving me these electronic systems to mitigate all the traction that you should be taking care of yourself?
Right.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's,
just like-
it's taking the heart out of it.
I agree the same thing. But automatics, versus
Automatic,
manuals.
yeah, automatic.
All right.
It's
I mean, manuals to me, yes. Automatics. They've now made automatics that are a fucking 1,000 times better than any human can fucking
Yes,
can
you
do. Fucking
shave-
manual
Yeah, but a
transmission.
lot
You
of
can
drivers
shave
like
off-
having a manual because they like having more
yeah,
control of the
you
vehicle.
can shave off 6-7 seconds off of a run with an automatic transmission these days. But I feel like you're sacrificing part of
Yeah,
your
the skill
soul
level.
for it.
Yeah.
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 You know, you're not part of the vehicle anymore. You're you're giving it all over to the computer.
Right.
And even and the new Grand Prix with the Aston Martins and all this, they have some of the most. Don't get me wrong, the technology is impressive, but you have traction control systems and torque vectoring and everything that's making this monster of a vehicle just stick to the pavement almost no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you can certainly fuck up and still send your ass into the pile of tires and probably kill yourself, but it's. I feel like you're sacrificing part of the soul of racing.
Right.
Yeah, it's making it almost too even.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're taking away the person's skill and giving it to the computer systems, you're making it too much. Where
And then everybody has the exact same abilities now.
Exactly.
All right.
And that's kind of why I like the your top fuel dragsters now.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that. You have a big fuck off 25,000 horsepower engine behind you. And a
whoever
parachute.
builds it best wins.
Send it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
All right.
So
Sorry, my bad.
No, no. I mean, it's related to the movie. I mean, it's
Right.
about racing, so it works.
yeah, so have a 3-way tie, and so they end up having to go to California for a one race, 200 laps, just the 3 racers.
Yeah.
So they head off to California, and
I love the truck.
Yes.
Lightning gets in the back of his truck. Mac.
Oh, we got a nodder.
We got an otter. Yep.
Yeah,
Lightning tells Mac that we're driving straight through.
I'll stay up with you. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it together.
We're going from pretty much from. I think we figured out that the race was in. I think Tennessee is kind of where it was supposed to have been.
So, yeah.
So they're driving straight from Tennessee to California without stopping.
This is why Europeans have no idea how big America is.
Right.
I did laugh at the scene when they're on the road and you see the truck stop and you just see all those sleeping trucks.
Yeah.
in
And
the
that's
truck
what he
stop.
says. He goes, "Look at all those sleeping trucks."
I was looking out for some lizards to be going on.
We're the little Miatas.
Would it be funny though if they had like a lizard, like an animal
Probably
running
more
around?
likely a VW thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the bugs.
Yeah, I did like those.
bugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just seeing that part because
Only us.
the Mac was one of my. I love that character. It's because it's a truck, and I love the jokes and everything else. Seeing the truck stop and everything. I wish he was in the movie more, but I enjoyed him. He
I was
was
kind of let down. We didn't have a truck named Kenny that was a Kenworth. Like that just
Kenworth, Peterbilt.
worked.
Yeah.
Well, international wouldn't have worked because I don't think anybody's going to
13
be
little
a
shit
foreigner.
Yeah, I like when he got to California, and when Mac got to California, they realized Lightning's not there. What happened? And of course, I love this line where Mac goes, "What happened? Did I not wipe my mud flaps?"
Yes.
Mac not feel that he was missing those couple thousand
That's
pounds.
not him.
All right.
That's not him. That's just his trailer.
Yeah.
Right? That's his backpack.
Yeah, technically he's coming out of
He
his
would
body.
have felt it.
Yeah, but wouldn't he
He
be
would've
coming
felt
out of
it.
his body,
Yeah.
basically?
Out of his asshole?
Technically.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Lightning
If
McQueen
you're
just-
running with a light load, you know it.
Yeah.
Did I shit Lightning McQueen out? What the fuck?
That wind is really hitting me way different than it was.
Yeah. So ends up like that. Like what happened was Lightning Queen fell out of the back of the truck while Mac was sleeping.
Yeah.
And I love how when he falls out, he's like, "Shit, there's no headlights.
Yeah.
All I got are stickers." And he's trapped in the middle of Interstate 40 and trying to find Mac again. Getting almost creamed by all the trucks and runs off and peels off Interstate 40 thinking he sees Mac,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which he doesn't.
He follows like some old, another semi.
Oh, Peterbilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a Peterbilt. Almost crashes into a train. Ends up making a wrong turn at that T. I don't know. That's how I was like,
Yep.
how did he not find the interstate? Now I looked at it closely. I was like, he didn't do a 90-degree turn and go back to where, or 180 degrees and turn back. He just went 90 degrees.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what fucked him up. Ended up in this cute little town.
Goes full panicked cat mode for some reason.
Well, no, it wasn't.
He
For some
thought
reason,
he's being-
he thought he was being shot at.
Yes, okay. All right. I will 100% understand. Because he's like, oh, this cop He'll help me.
He'll find me 5 years later.
Why is he shooting at me?
He wouldn't get shot at. The cop was backfiring because he hadn't ridden that fast
I
in
had
years.
forgotten about that.
Yeah. So it just the cop just scared the crap out of him because that's so he sort of started running. You know, slalom as he's going down the road.
Serpentine.
So gets in the radiator spray. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so he runs into a cow fence, gets caught up in the barbed wire, trailing the barbed wire. Then he ends up into town,
Yanks the Stanley
wraps
statue.
around Stanley, which is the town's founder, yanks him off of his stand. So now Stanley is pretty much mono skiing on his platform down the road, just tearing the crap out of the road.
Yep.
Can we quick trivia on who Stanley was? Anybody?
Stanley was he was the founder.
Mike, did you have this?
Trying to see if I've got Stanley.
I did see it, but I didn't write that one down.
Okay. So
He's from another movie.
Stanley and Grandma. She's a Model T. Stanley is a Stanley steamer. That is where Stanley Steamer cleaning products comes from. They were originally manufacturers of automobiles.
Gotcha. Okay.
Actually, the first mass-produced automobile before Henry Ford got into it and industrialized it. They were the
I
first.
did not know that.
Yeah, the Stanleys originally made steam-powered automobiles that they referred to as steamers. That wasn't actually the model they were called. I don't remember the actual designation, but they were called Stanley steamers at the time.
Before they came carpet cleaners.
Correct. Well, the automotive industry took off with fossil fuels. So, which was originally not gasoline, was originally gasoline, a byproduct of the coal mining industry in the UK, named after, I forget his first name, but named after the last name of the founder of the company, Gasoline. It was bootlegged and ripped off because there was no originally applicable use for it.
Yeah.
But it was so damn expensive to import from the UK to North America that they started making rip-off versions, and they called it gasoline, which is now what we use. Nobody realizes it was ever called gasoline in the first place.
Gasoline in a gas.
Yep. So, but Stanley Steamer would have been a couple years older than Grandma. That's why he's dead, is because a steam engine powered automobile isn't going to be seen ever again.
Right.
It's crazy. I didn't know that there was steam-powered automobiles back then.
Much better for the environment.
Yep. Well, even Porsche made steam powered cars for a while.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah. So
I mean, they had electric vehicles back then.
Yeah, no, they had actually really well functioning battery powered vehicles. But for a long time, automobiles were already a big thing.
Yeah.
Henry Ford, the Model T, the first car, is only considered the first car because they had streamlined the mass production, not just made them on large quantities for somebody to walk up and buy them. Before Stanley Steamers, it was, I want a car. Here's money. I'll see it when you finish building it.
See in 7 months.
Yeah.
Or however long it takes to fucking source the materials. And
so that was the big thing, was Stanley Steamer started doing the mass production, steam powered, blah, 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 blah. That market crashed. Now they make fucking steam vacuum cleaners. Ta-da.
That is crazy. I had no idea. That's good that you knew that. Yeah. That was a good little Easter egg.
That's cool.
That particular Stanley Steamer was in another Pixar movie.
Really?
And I don't know the name of the movie, but it's the one where they shear the sheep.
yes.
You talk about the short?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking. Yes.
Yes.
I
And
know
the sheep doesn't think he's any worth because he doesn't have his wool anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a short. It's a Pixar short, I believe.
Oh, I don't remember.
Stanley's in that one.
That's funny.
Stanley.
So, lightning messes up the town and ends up hanging from a power line. And then the next thing we see him is in impound. He wakes up in the impound, booted with a, what was the character? Who's the voice for Mater? It's Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Larry the Cable Guy as Tow Mater yelling at him. Good morning.
Now, his name is just Mater. It's not Tow Mater. He said Mater. As in Tow
As in
Mater.
Tow Mater. No, if you look at his door. His door says Tow Mater.
His His door says TOE Mater.
I thought I swear it looked like it said TUH Mater.
So tomato?
But in the second movie, they confirm his name is actually Toe Mater.
Okay.
See, I heard the second movie is more about him.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard that he's more of a bigger character in the second.
Literally, Larry the Cable Guy accidentally falls into being a spy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting. I've never
It's
seen
fantastic.
the other ones.
It's great.
Like I said, that was the first time seeing this one, so I'm the only virgin for this movie.
Lighty gets towed to the courthouse in front of the judge.
Yeah.
And judge ends up being Doc Hudson, voiced by Paul Newman. What his car?
Paul Newman?
Huh? Yes.
Doc was Paul Newman. You didn't know that?
No, I thought it was
No,
Reynolds.
it was Paul Newman.
No, it was Paul Newman.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
I was way off on that one.
Yeah.
Who'd you think it was?
I thought it was Burt Reynolds.
No.
No.
Because
I
Paul.
feel like Burt showed up in a later on movie, though. I feel like.
But no, Paul Newman is been big. Was big into racing himself. So that's one of the
knew
reasons.
that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that they brought him into the movie.
Wasn't he in a racing movie?
Oh, he was in several.
Yeah, I thought he was in a racing movie.
Yeah.
I love Paul Newman as an actor. He's been in a lot of good movies. His best movie is Color of Money, though. That's one of my favorites of his.
Yeah. Brought in front of the judge. And when he sees him, Doc Hudson sees him, he's like, get him out of my town, because he knew exactly what it was. Nobody else knew why, because nobody knew who Doc Hudson was.
Yeah.
Doc Hudson was a former stock car racer. And actually the car is actually the was based off of a real car. The Hudson Hornet was a true
Oh, yeah.
car at that time. It was a full-size car manufactured by the Hudson Motor Company. And they merged into what became the American Motors Company, AMC.
Yeah.
So,
That was a bad move.
yeah. And it was only after that merger, the Hudson was only manufactured for one more year after that, and that was it.
Weren't those cars a lot heavier?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, because they weren't like with light. They were
There was no
pure metal.
aluminum and
Yeah, it was pure-
plastic. It was all steel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Usually when those things
Quick.
get into wrecks.
What's the other famous Hudson Hornet?
The Green Hornet?
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
Yep.
Much later version, but yeah.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Bruce Lee and the Bruce Lee movie. Oh, no, a TV show when Bruce Lee was in the TV show.
I was going to say the movie.
No, there is a movie, the one with Seth Rogen or something like that. But the original TV show, it had Bruce Lee. What was his character's name? Stu?
Kato.
Yep.
Kato? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kato was dope.
So the judge is going to tell him to get him out of town when his lawyer comes in and says, no, he needs to fix his fuck up.
Yeah.
So he gets charged
Tramp stamp whore.
yeah. Oh, come on. That was nice.
Dutch.
Yeah.
See, that's what I love about Pixar. They get those little adult themes, and it's just like the cars
all the little
flashing.
Yeah. Well, me and
lightning.
Tia flash. Yeah, they're flashing their headlights.
Yep.
We all know what their headlights were.
Well, if it was cold out, it's high beams, right?
Exactly.
Except for fucking Harley. All right. We were in the middle of a rewatch of this or whatever, and talking about, a lot of the adult humor that's in there, a lot of stuff to please adults, like the great soundtrack.
Yeah.
That wasn't for the kids. That was to keep the adults entertained.
Yeah.
Little throwaway jokes like the Mia and Tia, stuff like that.
Right.
So what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? What the fuck I mean? When the fucking fangirls fucking flashed him. Yeah, flashed them their headlights. I'm like, yeah, they're tits. They're tits. I'm like, they're fucking tits. Those are their fucking tits. That's why they flashed them. That's why it's fucking funny.
Yeah. Were their eyes?
Honestly-
okay, here are their eyes.
Yeah.
Go south.
Well, I never picked up on that.
I will say, I am surprised we never saw one of those leather car bras get thrown.
Yes. And Harley was like,
That would have been awesome.
I don't know why. I guess it was just, I was too young to pick it up. I'm like, bitch, you were an adult. It came out in 2006. All right? I'd already been to the fucking desert and back. All right, when this fucking movie came out. Fuck you, you were too young.
No. This was my first time watching this and watching that and seeing that scene, and it was like, and Sammy and the kids were watching this. It was like, did they just flash lightning? They were flashing him. It was like those were tits. Put that in a Pixar movie. I wasn't expecting that. But
And then the dirty fucking bastard, he is, I love my life.
Are you gonna be mad in that situation? Okay, shut the fuck up.
I'm looking forward to talking about the implications of this movie, though. The sentient cars.
Hey, pull up a picture of Mater right now.
I like the little poem that like.
You're trying to look at. Are you talking about the door or just like a general?
Yep. Okay. That man is so broken down, he's missing a nipple.
Yep. And hold on, since he's missing his hood, does that mean he's like missing his sternum also?
what would their hood be?
I mean, you are.
I feel like that's the bridge of the nose, maybe.
Inside of him, right there. When I think his engine, you are seeing it like the heart of the car. All right, so that's the sternum. All right.
That's a deformed car right
fuck.
Yeah, right.
Missing the sternum, missing a nipple.
Septum. Because did you notice when he found? When did he find it?
Wait a minute. So wait a
In the
minute.
end credits.
Yeah.
He found his hood.
All right.
And he put it on. Did you notice how it sounded?
He sounded like this.
Yeah.
So
is it his septum?
Oh, that's a good point.
All right. No, but
is this fucking?
Either way, he's missing. He's a fucking goddamn
Is he
horrible
fucking
looking
car Voldemort?
so what is a bummer because those other cars that look like they had fucking syphilis or something like that. I mean, when they had their rustonium or something like that.
Yeah, no,
the
it's all
Rusties.
lepers.
Yeah.
Lepers.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to touch him.
Yeah. The guy, I don't want to be near here anymore.
Oh, the adult
Oh,
situations
fuck.
of this. Jesus Christ, I wouldn't even have thought of that.
No.
Well, when he was sitting out there just before he got into Mac at the Dynaco 400, and he was supposed to be going to meet all of his sponsors and stuff like that. And the sponsors were up on stage, and they were saying this little poem. And I actually had to write it out because I thought it was so funny. It was like, "Winter's a grand old time. Of this, there's no ifs or buts. But remember, all that salt and grime can rust your bolts and freeze your." And then that's when and it's like, if they had said it, but that's one of the adult things where the adults,
But also,
the adults
it does
catch
work
nuts and
for the
bolts.
mechanical.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
But
But
we've dealt with fucking nuts that are fucking frozen.
Right.
You had to pull the torch out.
that's one of the situations
Or in
where
my case, they just snapped the fuck off.
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the situations where the kids are like, "Oh, that's funny." The adults are like, "Yeah, that's funny."
Well, yeah, there was some things.
They
I
did a
lacked.
great job.
Yeah. I think that's why it was
Parental
so
support,
successful.
if you
Yes.
will.
Well,
'Cause-
have to give a reason for the parents to sit in the theater with their
Yes.
kids.
Well,
And
that's
it
the
also
thing.
made it when it came out in the home video, and the kids do what they always fucking do and watch the same fucking movie 1,000 fucking times in a row. You don't want to kill them as a parent because it has some good jokes, has a good soundtrack, and shit that you don't mind going
looking
on
back
in the background.
I feel
Yeah.
bad about watching Waterboy on loop. In the fucking minivan.
Yeah. But there's another line where when I'm trying to remember if it was when Matt got there and he wasn't with them, or with Lightning, or when they finally got to California with
Did
him.
I not wipe my mud flaps?
No, well, I said that earlier,
Yeah.
but no, there was another one where the car was like, it was when he got back to California with Lightning, but before Lightning came out, and there was like all the media and all that. He goes, "Is it true he's going to pose for Car Girl?" It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
Did it say car girl?
yes, Car Girl instead of Playgirl.
I missed
Car Girl.
I missed it. Jesus Christ.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's all these little quick lines that if you don't,
Well, what did he show?
I don't even want to know that.
Like his exhaust? I mean,
Well,
his
he is a race car, so it's probably
Underneath
a
the
quick
vehicle.
detachable bumper.
So probably the jet nose are underneath the vehicle.
The what?
The genitals.
Genitalia.
The genitals.
genitalia.
Okay,
Fuck's sake, man.
I just wanted something.
They have a
What
little
you
hat
said,
on
what
it,
you
like a
said
little top
about
hat.
Mater?
Genitals.
Yeah.
He's only got stickers.
He's a Kindle.
My question is, okay, so he is a purpose-built race car. That's
Yeah.
why he's got stickers instead of like, no real fucking headlights. What purpose-built race car would decide we're also going to include a gay-ass little lightning bolt in that fucking functions, as a light? We're going to
Oh,
waste.
it wasn't a light.
Huh?
It was never a light.
Yeah, wait,
it was
I know.
reflective.
I thought
It
he
was
lit
reflective.
it up. I thought he lit it up.
It was
Okay.
always reflective.
Okay. That makes a little more sense then.
Yeah.
I really thought it was like, ha and then like lit up.
No,
All right,
I want
that's a
fucking
waste.
laser beams
That
on
is
the
a fucking
side.
waste.
Wait a minute, didn't he
thought he used it at
shine it on
nighttime.
somebody in the courthouse?
Yeah.
No.
So what did it reflect through the window?
The window, yeah. He was right in the window beam.
I didn't catch that part of it. That he was in the window beam.
And then you saw Mater try to do the same thing, and he walked up to the window and he fucking blinded himself.
Yeah, okay, I remember that part. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he's having to fix the road and pull was it Bessie? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bessie, which was the paving machine.
Which why didn't that thing? I figured the paving machine would have had eyes and everything else, but that thing was not a.
No, because they said that
It wasn't self-propelled.
no. One they said who did they say did they say Frank was the only one that was strong enough to pull it?
I think so.
And of course we found out who Frank was later. I was like, but
Yeah, they said Frank was the only one.
yeah, Frank was the only one that was strong enough to pull it.
Well,
Would-
yeah, because it's
and then-
it's not a self-propelled thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
And Sal-
so it
Sally
didn't-
was like-
it didn't have a life or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
I was a
Sally
little
was like, no, he's
confused
got
at
enough
that.
horsepower.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was a little confused about that. Just like the tractors were fucking cows.
I did love that. I don't have a horn. Figure something out.
Yeah. go tractor tipping. All the tractors tip.
Yeah, that part made me laugh about the tractor tipping. I was a little laughing at that.
Did
'cause-
you ever go cow tipping as a kid?
No, but I know my.
You did, yeah.
I didn't. Did
Stu.
you? Stu? You go cow tipping?
No.
Really, I'm quite surprised by that.
What are you trying to look up, Stu?
When you live in farm country.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've never done it.
that's the only fucking thing to do when you're in the country, man.
I heard it's fun, but I mean, you just watch
It's not.
cows.
It's
it
not
really
fun.
is.
It's just the cow tipping isn't a blast. It's just the stupidity that leads up to it, and
Yeah.
sometimes the being chased and fearing for your life. It's type 3 fun. Type 3 fun.
Well,
you
if
know?
you tip a bull, I mean, I can see that happening, but not a cow.
Generally, you're not stupid enough to do that. But then again, there are city boys that come to visit, so sometimes you can talk them into it.
Stu, what are you looking up?
Why does
buddy?
that cow only have one nipple?
I'm saying a whole now.
Milk it, see what happens.
Apparently, Lightning's first name is Montgomery.
What the fuck?
Montgomery Lightning McQueen?
Yeah. Lightning's a nickname.
Was that in the other movies?
No.
No, I'm at the Pixar Cars wiki.
There's a Cars wiki.
Oh, there's a wiki for everything.
There's a wiki for everything.
Including probably how to pronounce genitals. Full circle.
Jesus Christ.
What was that song? I think it goes, "Show me your genitals," right?
With a little top hat on. No, gents.
Genitalia.
Yes, they have monocles.
For their one eye.
Yes.
God.
So as
Ooh, the fancy.
Lightning's having to do his penance, he learns to. He gets close to the characters there, and that the residents of Radiator Springs.
Yeah.
Do you know why his number is what it is?
95.
I
Is
do.
it from 1995?
No, I do not.
Mike, you know that?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Stu, if you know it, say it.
Yeah. It's when Toy Story was released. It's their way of honoring.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was their first Pixar movie. Yeah, I mean they had a Pixar short in the late '80s, early '90s, but that's how their lamp for their Pixar thing came from. So
So as he's doing his penance, he's told that if he finishes fixing the road, he can go free.
yeah,
So he takes that as if I finish the road, I can go free. So he does it as fast as he can, and just makes it even worse.
right.
So then he's like, "No." Doc says, "No, you've got to fix it." He goes, like, and they go back and forth. Finally, he says, "Okay, how about I race you for it?" So it's gonna be a race between Doc and Lightning.
Such a power move, dude.
Yes. And so they get set up to go do a race.
Cable Guys, that he gained his popularity through stand-up comedy and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden he started becoming in movies. Wasn't he also in like another Larry the Cable Guy, the movie, or something? Or he did something?
He had a Larry
Yeah.
the Cable Guy movie. I think there was 2 of them, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, but he.
He voiced a couple things, but then kind of just faded out.
Did you ever see that on Courthouse Road, or it was either Courthouse Road or something like that? There was actually the old truck that looked just like where somebody painted the eyes.
He was on 208 for,
Was it
for a
208?
long time. He
Yeah.
has now been purchased and moved over to the Lee Hill subdivision
Really?
up there. Yeah.
Looks exactly from the movie too.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool how they
And
did
for a
that.
minute there, didn't they also have a Cars looking, a Lightning McQueen looking
They
car?
had a Miata that they put teeth on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always loved having that there.
Yeah, the thing is, I've never seen the movie, but I've seen that character in the movie. I like from pictures and stuff like that. And it looked exactly like it. I just remember seeing that 208. You're right.
So after this scene, we have quite a while before he gets the lesson on turn one way to go the other.
Yeah, and I love when he first tells about it. He goes, "Sometimes when you go around, to go left, you turn and right."
He goes, "Whatever, fine, I'll
And then
try it."
Yeah, he says, "Turn right to go left." Okay, turns right, goes right. To
But when they're running from Frank, he countersteers.
yeah, he does.
He does.
Yep.
I was like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck? He hasn't learned that yet."
Well, it's probably one of those things where it's a
Like
panic move, and so he probably didn't realize
it's like putting your hand on a burner and then pulling away.
Yeah,
yeah.
but he didn't. It was just one of those things where I've got to get out of the way and just. It was one of those things. It's kind of an instinctual thing.
Yeah.
Not making the connection of that's what he meant.
Fair.
So, so he does that, and so now he's having to fix the road right.
Stu, you are down a rabbit hole.
I am.
What are you learning
There
about?
is just so much that Lightning McQueen has been in. There, he had comic books. He had several video games. That
Oh,
he
yeah.
ended up
Oh,
here
yeah.
in. Several, multiple cartoons.
Is he that
multiple-
popular of a character?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cars was a major hit. Did you not see the box office?
It did really well, but
Yeah.
it's not anything special in my opinion. There's
It
better
doesn't
Pixar
have to
movies.
be special to you. It's special to the kids.
I just did not realize how popular these movies were because they're actually the least rated Pixar movies, even for a critical score.
Dude, that's because the critical ones and all that are done by grown-ups. The
Right.
grown-ups are not what sell merchandise and video games. It's the kids.
Yeah.
The kids fucking loved it.
Yeah, I would. It'd be awesome if there was like a kids Rotten Tomatoes to where the kids rate movies just to see how.
That'd be phenomenal.
Yes.
What a
would be
killer idea.
Yeah.
It would have to be thumbs up or thumbs down. That couldn't be like
Yeah, you could go ahead and start that up. You never know.
No,
You
but
can-
I mean, just to see just imagine what this would have gotten in a rating, because it would just been one probably.
Did your sons like this movie when they first saw this? Stu?
I can't say anything. It just fucking
The kids loved it. Yeah, especially my oldest. Yes.
Oh, your oldest. Yeah. Oh, your youngest didn't like this one?
No, he enjoyed it and like that. But my oldest, it was already on home video and shit like that. So it became one of those things that you watch 1,000 fucking times.
Yeah. Oh,
They fall in love with. That becomes part of their childhood.
The reason I picked this movie is this is my 22-year-old daughter's favorite movie.
Really?
She loves Cars.
it's fucking golden, man.
Yeah, she just loves this movie. She could probably recite the entire movie word for word.
See, that's the thing.
Same
And
thing
I
with
think
my
with the
son.
generation that
Yeah.
came out in 2006, that's the generation kids.
Yeah.
When we grew up with Pixar movies, it was Toy Story. And I think that is more iconic to us than Cars. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what everybody's opinion is, but to me, Toy Story is by far an amazing movie.
I was already in 8th grade when Toy Story came out,
But it
so
was
I
still-
was already
But
older. And
the other
But
thing,
to me, I think that one's not just for kids. I feel like it's for adults too. I
the
mean,
other
there's a lot
thing,
of
I have to draw this parallel. What year did the Fast and Furious come out?
2001.
Okay, 2001.
Yeah.
That was geared for young adults,
yes,
older teenagers.
Right.
6 years later,
Cars.
they're possibly starting families now.
The babies.
Fast and Furious launched a revamp in the car culture and car community.
Yes.
Right.
And this gave those families, those people that latched onto that and got into the hobby, something to give their kids to start that, oh, these cars are really cool.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping, because of Fast and Furious, when I saw the Nodder scene start happening, I'm like, oh, they about to fucking rip him off.
That would have been funny.
Are they about to steal Lightning?
But I just wanted to run that parallel because it was a great timing for it, for, revamping that culture. And then, 5, 6 years later, you had this new thing you can introduce those kids to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. So as we go through, Lightning, trying to remember how he ends up at Doc's. But he ends up at Doc's and gets into Doc's garage and finds out.
It was
the day after cow tipping or tractor tipping.
Yes.
He came out to get his gas ration. They were not available because he was fixing up the cop.
That's right.
And he
Yep.
kicked a can. And
What was he doing exactly? Because I know he was doing something with the exhaust, but what would that be exactly?
It was an emissions test.
Good look there, buddy.
Yeah.
Proctologist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking for bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So he ends up going to Doc's into Doc's garage and finding out he was the
Hornet.
fabulous Hudson Hornet.
Yeah.
He had won 3 piston cups in the mid 50s.
Yeah.
Which is actually a true story.
Oh.
It is based off of
So that's Pixar is good at doing that.
Yes.
They always do the research for a lot of the
Paul Newman did it.
Herb Thomas.
Okay.
Pioneer Herb Thomas, who drove Hudson Hornets to the Grand National Championships in 1951 and in 53. He had crashes in 55 and 56 that ended his career. So that's exactly what happened to the fabulous Hudson Hornet in this movie.
Oh, so they based off this real history.
Yes.
Okay.
He had crashes which ended his career.
Yeah.
And that's why he never raced again. He said in the movie he stated he tried to go back, but at that point they were on to the newer rookies and just phased him out. So you can go ahead and do
Doc Hudson.
So the big crash at when he helps a Superbird pass the finish line. Richard Petty voices Doc Hudson.
Yes. No.
Paul Newman.
Richard Petty.
Oh, sorry.
Richard Petty voices the King,
King.
The King. Sorry, my bad.
which is the Superbird.
That's right.
Yes.
And they actually based that crash off of they took elements from both of them, but there is a wreck in 1977 and 1980 of Richard Petty.
Yeah.
No. That crash is from 1970
Oh,
at Darlington, the Rebel 400. It was May 9th because that was the only year he drove this.
sorry,
the
I meant to
Superbird.
say 70, not 77. My bad. But they drew elements from the 1970 crash and the 1988 crash.
You are correct because in the 1970 crash, he went upside down in the 19
when he sailed up like that.
he didn't go upside down in the other one. You're right.
Yeah.
It was just a pretty cool with the how they paid homage to the voice actor they chose,
Right.
and kept that in there. It's just really
Well, something.
cool.
I mean, and we haven't gone through all the different voice actors they had in this movie.
Oh yeah,
It was just
even fucking what's his name?
Michael Keaton.
Nope.
no.
Mario Andretti.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
Well, they had Mario Andretti. They had Michael Schumacher.
Yes.
They had Bob Costas, who played Bob Cutlass.
So Schumacher, we've actually had dinner with him
Oh, did you really?
Oh,
when we lived in Germany.
very nice.
So, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
So they had a lot of racers.
Oh,
do
yeah.
cameos
Oh, yeah.
in this.
Yes.
This was
They had
all the
Jay
greats.
Leno played Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Dale Waltrip, former racer, played Dale Cartrip. He was one of the announcers.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. Was the Hummer? Was that Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know
Played
if that
by
was actually.
Schwarzenegger?
No, I don't think
know
that
it
was
supposed
played
to
by
be
Schwarzenegger.
That's why I was wondering if it was voiced by him or not. That
I
was
don't
the only
think
thing I
that was
wasn't 100%
voiced by
sure.
him.
Okay. But like I said, Richard Petty and his wife were both in it. And then in the end credits, they paid homage to all the different Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Because they had, let's see, they had a Woody car, which was actually played by Tom Hanks. They had a
Yes.
Buzz Lightyear car with Tim Allen. They had a ham truck, which
Yeah.
was the pig from Toy Story, which is John Ratzenberger.
Yeah.
Then they
Schwarzenegger
had
did not play in this. It was just it would, but it is a reference to Schwarzenegger
it was
because he
reference to
owns
him.
a Hummer.
then for Monsters Inc. They had both Sully and
He's the reason Hummers got made for
The Boomobile's in trouble.
the public.
Yeah.
and then from A Bug's Life they had all the the characters, and they were all cars.
Yeah.
So it was just amazing, all the different voices
I loved.
they brought in.
Well,
for-
Pixar is really good at doing that by doing cameos in all their films because basically all their films have Easter eggs through all their other movies that they did. They're all combined all together and stuff like that, and you'll see cameos. The fact that Tim Allen and Tom Hanks came back to do that little small cameo is
Right.
Yeah, I mean they're all friends basically. They do movies together and everything else, but it's fun to see that.
Yeah.
That was actually probably the best part of the movie for me was the end. I'm not gonna lie. I actually enjoy the cameos and stuff like that because, well, we'll get into it when we get to our pine reviews in the future. But that part made me chuckle. I was laughing at that scene.
So Lightning befriend starts again, getting more friendly with everybody. Ends up starting to, I guess you can almost say, date Sally.
Yeah.
Gets to stay in.
Tramp Sally.
Yep. Gets to stay in the cozy cones.
He wants to be in her cozy.
Stay in her cozy
Did
cones.
you say Stamp Tramp?
Tramp stamp.
Okay.
I got the word mixed up.
She just was a whore for stamps.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said stamp tramp. I meant
A real big collector.
Yep.
stamp tramp.
So,
what the fuck am I thinking? My mind is going fucked.
So him and Sally, they go off on a ride, and she kind of explains why she ended up staying there.
Yeah.
And just the scenery that this movie shows is just, I'd love to move there.
Hell yeah.
But it was neat how even in some of the they made it look like car fenders as mountains and things like that. It was real neat how they just
Yeah.
brought all that into like the scenery also.
The whole world altogether was really cool, and especially in how all like the gas stations where you get the places to get drinks is the gas station, and it was really cool how they did all the stores aimed for cars in the way that they did, especially the fucking organic gasoline.
Yep.
And the guy was a fucking hippie and shit
Hippie.
like that. That made me laugh. I was
Yeah,
just
that was
like,
George Carlin.
You would have
Yeah.
loved the second movie then.
Yeah.
oh, there's more of that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. But the where is the notes? So it's actually the Radiator Springs is actually based off of a actual town.
Oh, yeah.
It's
In the same location.
Seligman, Arizona, is what it's based off
Okay.
of.
Okay.
And it's if you look it up, it's surprising how like a lot of the buildings looks like it's on Route 66.
Yeah.
And a lot of the buildings actually look like the buildings in Radiator Springs.
That's fantastic.
It's really neat how they
But
really do it.
also, I feel like a lot of the buildings after this movie came out, they're like, okay, we know they kind of based it on us. We're leaning heavily into it
No,
now.
but
This
look at
is
some of the-
absolutely what the fuck we're going to
Yeah.
be known for.
But they show
Fuck it,
older-
we are going to be cars.
They showed older pictures of some of the older stuff, and it's just some of the
Kind
pictures.
of like a 1960s, 1950s type of look, basically.
yeah,
before they
like
would say
some of the
yeah.
like the gas station. That doesn't have the V8, but it does have like the canopy over the pumps that makes it look like that. The shape of the building,
Yeah.
kind of looks like
Yes.
it, but of course it doesn't have V8 like it does in our flows. So there's a lot of little features that they drew from that town to kind of create this.
How about
So
the
it's
neon
kinda neat.
lights? The neon lights also.
There's
A lot of those towns that built up off 66 were very Art Deco inspired.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had like neon was a great way to be an eye catcher.
Yeah,
and
because
draw
it grabs
people's
you. It's like,
attention.
oh, we see. Yeah,
Yeah, especially in the middle of the fucking night, and so that where you're trying to grab people to come in and support the town,
almost like a Las Vegas, like a little mini Las Vegas.
the
Basically.
one music montage that they did with Our Town, the song.
Yeah.
That he did, which was really neat. And it really actually kind of made me think of like Fredericksburg, because Fredericksburg was
like before
they built the
shutdown.
interstate.
Yeah.
Fredericksburg was a major stop along Route 1. Route 1 was the major north-south thoroughway
main to Florida.
through there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, when they showed the flashback of what going through,
Yeah.
with all the stores that were side by side, I mean, that's still what downtown looks like today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you look at a lot of like along Route 1, a lot of the old buildings that are there, you can almost picture what they used to be.
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. Right,
Yeah.
especially around right near the bridge, the Rappahannock Bridge.
Yeah.
Around that whole area right there.
Like the building that's the light that sells all the light fixtures and stuff like
Yep.
that. It's
The
purple now.
purple. Oh
That
no,
place is
that's,
old as fuck.
No,
Yes.
they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't
That's-
remember what it is now, but it used to be.
So it was a gay couple that owned that, and they actually did pretty well. It's now Parish Auto Body.
Okay.
It's no longer a light store.
No, they changed
Yeah.
that like they changed that almost 10 years ago.
Yeah,
guys.
I knew. I
been
couldn't remember
almost
what it
a
was, but
decade.
I
You know
just
what you're
remember.
talking about?
Yeah, I 100% know what's
No,
going on.
and I know that because I was still with my ex-wife at this point when we had to get body work done on the Nissan Versa, and it came back with, I think I was missing like 3 packs of Pop-Tarts that were originally in there. They fucking ate my snacks. There was crumbs everywhere in it. It had 28 extra miles on the vehicle.
Oh Jesus.
I'm like, yeah, never going there again.
Yeah. But and then right across the street, the big brick building that used to be where the 4x4 place was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of those old buildings you could picture probably were part of the main thoroughfare of Route 1
Oh, yeah.
at that time.
Yep.
So it kind of made me think of Fredericksburg
Yeah.
before 95 was built.
Yep.
Everything was that. So getting back, after like they said, they had the music montage, and he comes back to the town after the little ride through. He's looking for Doc. Can't find him. So the tractors come running through the town, and he's like, "Oh, let me go." There's one. He goes, "One's running off. I'll go round him up." So he goes round him up. Well, while he's kind of rounding him up, he sees Doc out
I love
there.
how he just said, fuck the cow.
Yeah. He's just sitting there. And he's like, "What is Doc doing?" And I think it's the drives again. And what is Doc sitting out on that dirt track again?
Yeah, looking at it because he wants to race again.
Yep.
They even got the engine sounds right.
I was saying that sounds so awesome.
That's the old slant 6.
Yeah.
Pixar's very good about the sound
Yeah.
effects. That sounds beautiful.
Yeah. That's a straight pipe side exit slant 6, baby.
Yep. So, and Lightning's watching him. He was like, "Holy crap! He just turned right to go left."
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where he sees it, and he realizes that this old man knows his shit in racing. Yeah. He needs, and of course, as soon as Doc sees Lightning, he's just like, "Oh shit!" Takes off running.
Which I don't understand why he's ashamed of it. Like,
Because he does not want to associate with the racers of the day.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's a humble guy now.
But he still enjoys it. I mean, the thing is that he got a high just going back out there and racing around that track again.
Yes, but what feelings of his are attached to racing? Nothing but letdown and disappointment.
Yeah,
And pain.
Yeah, a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So he knows what racers are like.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to associate with that. He's put too much into this town for him to let someone like that come in and fuck it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And you kind of find that out when Lightning is finally found. Later on, that I think it may have been that night.
Well, Doc is the one who called everybody.
That's what. Yeah, Doc was the one that
It
made
was
wanted
that
him out
night
of the
because
town.
as the paparazzi were leaving, one of them was like, "Hey, didn't you call it in?
Yeah.
Thank you."
Yeah. So Doc was the actual one, and Sally was like, "You called?" Because, "Yep, it's time for him to go." But Lightning helped kind of
Bring back the city back to
the
life.
city back to life.
Yeah.
He bought tires from Luigi. He had a new paint job done.
I so wish they would have kept it. but I know it wasn't regulation.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah, I
It
was trying to
looked
figure that out.
Very nice.
Why,
Yeah.
why didn't they keep it? Because it was the regulation for the track.
Didn't keep regulation because
No,
he wasn't
I
displaying
think
his
there was-
sponsors.
I think there was an editing error because when they're doing their laps around the track at the race, Daryl Waltrip, who I don't know what his car trip or whatever
Right.
his name was, the commentator, was looking through the camera and said that he came back with a new paint job and white wall
white walls.
tires.
Right.
And they're showing him going down the track with the old paint job.
Oh,
No.
Yes.
What it was is he was when Lightning returned, he had the paint job that he got at Radiator Springs.
Right.
Then they had to change it and get his sponsors, all that back on there, put regulation tires on before he hit the track.
Yeah.
So that's
They
all
didn't
he was
put-
saying.
They didn't say that though.
No, but all Dare Waltrip was saying was that
He did come back
he came
with
back
a
with
new paint
a new paint
job.
job and white walls.
Yeah.
But
At the same time as they're looking through the monitor, showing him going down the track while they're saying this.
Yes.
yeah,
Now,
but they're
they
just saying
could've-
saying how he
put the
came.
sponsors on.
They're just saying how
without-
he came back.
They could have put the sponsors on without messing up the paint job.
I agree.
Yeah,
it would have
they-
been nice.
Yeah, they could have, but I'm just saying that
But
is
the
I don't think
symbol-
it was an editing error. I think it was
The symbolism there would have had to have been put in place if you were going to
then
be
the
part
next-
of this
The
racing
next time you
world.
see him after the race, he's got the new paint job with the number and the sponsors on.
when he goes back to Radiator Springs. He does.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's because he
came back to Radiator
came
Springs.
back to Radiator Springs. He got his tires and he got his
Yeah, it was symbolic because if you're
changed
going
his
to be part of
clothes.
of this racing culture,
Yeah.
you have to abandon all that backwoods bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted. They wanted to show the separation. You cannot have both worlds,
Right.
and that was the whole goal that McQueen had was he found a love for this town. He really found it in his heart to be part of that community.
Right.
But if he was going to continue in this race, he couldn't have that on him.
Right.
That was a lot
But-
of the symbology there.
When he showed up back at Radiator Springs, he didn't have the white walls anymore. He just like those white walls are not racing tires. Everybody knows that.
I thought he did have them on.
Okay,
Not
what
when he showed up back at Radiator Springs again. No.
Okay. I thought I remember seeing them.
is white walls more of just a look? It's not. It doesn't really change anything of the way the tire moves. It's just.
No, it's just appearance.
okay,
So-
but it's regulated. It's not regulation for racing.
Generally speaking, the only place there's like two companies that still make white wall tires outside of Coker Custom Tires. It's a company down in North Carolina. They will make you anything you fucking want. If you need original tire tread, I don't know if you know this, but Model Ts, when they were first coming out with their new radial as an option, which is they call it radials and radial and something by something. But it's just a construction of the tire.
Okay.
How they put together the steel cord inside. But the first tire tread was actually there were two that came out at the same time. It was just a standard stripe tread, and then their high grip was actually the word tire stamped into the tread across it to give it actual grip.
Right. Yeah. Great.
Tire.
You can actually still get that today from Coker Tire.
No shit.
Even though they've not been produced for fucking 80 years.
Oh wow.
But it's all custom. Whenever a tire goes out of style, is discontinued, Coker Tire buys up the patent for it and gets the molds.
yeah.
And so you can order anything you want from them. Now, if you wanted to get a white wall tire that was race performance, they would make that for you
Okay. Gotcha.
for like $800 a tire.
All right.
Yeah. That sounds cheap, actually. I thought race tires were even more than that.
Well, race tires are more flatter surface than regular tread tires because they slide and.
I mean, there's multiple different types of racing, but it usually comes down to the speed reinforcement that is required on the sidewall to fight deformation at higher speed.
Okay.
Because they usually run a lower pressure and they're traveling at a higher speed. So you have to have a more reinforced sidewall to avoid buckling of it. Because when you do that, you ever take a paper clip You bend it back and forth.
Yeah.
And put your fingers on it. It gets hot.
Right. Yeah.
Heat is a tire's worst enemy.
Yeah.
So when you have a tire going at a high rate of speed, you're essentially folding it over and over again really fast. And if you don't have enough to support that and keep it nice and stiff, it'll overheat and blow itself apart.
And see, I'm glad you told me that because I don't know anything about racing all that much.
Here's your local tire guy.
Yeah.
Fucking
I don't know anything about that. So.
Yep.
So the white wall tires that they put on Lightning McQueen
not racing.
and the wheels are the exact same tire and wheel that were on Carl and Ellie's car in the movie Up.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Another cameo. Jesus Christ. Pixar cameos.
Had little moon caps on and everything.
Yeah.
Those are kind of sweet.
Yep. So the Lightning finally makes it to the race in California.
Yeah.
And it's Lightning, the King, and Chick. And the race starts, and Lightning just can't get his mind into it. He doesn't have a crew chief. Mac is having to do everything for him.
Yeah.
It's one man guy. But he just can't get his mind into racing because every time he's thinking about something, it just wanders back to Radiator Springs. Yep. He's going around a turn and he's picturing Sally out in front of him going under the waterfall. The next thing is he wakes up and he's looking at the wall.
Yeah.
He's almost running into the wall. So he just can't get his mind into it. And he ends up going off into the dirt.
Yep.
And he gets his voice in his headphones. And Doc is there. Finally saying, hey, he's like, oh, everybody showed it. He goes, well, Tom Mater didn't get to say goodbye. Of course, Mater's like, goodbye.
Okay, I'm good.
All right, I'm done. Let's go. So he ends up, but Hudson Hornet, the fabulous Hudson Hornet, it's got all his decals on, everything like that is up in crew chief.
Everybody
spot.
Starts noticing.
Everybody
man.
starts to know we haven't seen him in 50 years.
That's fucking royalty.
That's
Holy shit.
awesome. Yeah. But he talks Lightning through the race. And even when Chick runs him off into the grass, damn if Lightning doesn't finally turn right to go left. And I can't believe he actually pulled out and came out in front. Somehow he
cut the corner.
Yeah, he really cut that corner.
But that man was in reverse entry. He had accelerated through being slideways. And he was ass first for a while, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but Chick knocks him in. He turns around and he ends up in first and pulling away from the King and Chick, approaching the finish line. And Chick was like, well, I'm not coming in behind the old man again because he's never been in front of the King.
Right.
And just slams into him, making him run off and flip, and the accident we talked about earlier. And Lightning sees it up on the Jumbotron and literally just breaks hard and stops before the line.
And goes to help him.
Yep. Go ahead and so what we saw was as Lightning stopped the race because of what Chick did, he backed up, went and pushed the King across his line because he said the King needs to finish his last race.
That's
And he essentially he gave up the race. He gave up winning the Piston Cup just to help.
It wasn't worth it.
No, it wasn't worth it. Just to help the King cross the finish line.
Right.
And so it just showed the growth of how Lightning went from being
Winning is all that matters.
winning, winning speed, all that, to
Understanding the sport.
that and caring about somebody other than himself.
So a moral to the movie, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Friendship's the gift we always need.
We're not watching fucking MLP, okay?
So, Dynaco, hey, do you want to be our, would you like us to be your sponsor, stuff like that? And he's like, no, Rusty's gave me my start. I think I'm gonna stick with them.
Yeah. You're going to stick with the syphilis war.
And I love how, well, if we could do anything for you, it's like,
I tell you what.
can we borrow your helicopter?
I tell you what, I'm having a tornado in a trailer park.
But Lightning goes back to Radiator Springs and moves pretty much his racing headquarters there.
Yeah.
Which revives the town. Gives a reason for people to stop there.
Oh,
Yeah, where they actually
Michael
made the interstate.
Schumacher Ferrari goes to get
Yes.
tires for Luigi.
Yeah.
Luigi just passes out cold. but yeah, it gives reasons to revive the town.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's pretty much how the movie ended, with lightning saving Radiator Springs from fading into.
It's such a
Final
feel-good
obscurity.
movie, you know?
It is.
It's animated. There's never any good cinema.
Fucking.
I'm going to take a question.
All right, you're depressing. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Are you?
Pixar movies are good movies. They've been very good movies, but to me, this is the weakest out of all of them
The
wouldn't say
weakest out of all
This
the
is the
Pixar movies.
weakest.
that I've seen. Okay, that I've seen. I haven't seen any of the newer ones, but out of all the other ones, I'd rather.
I'm doing the same thing,
I'm
dude.
sorry. Out of the ones I've seen, like Wall-E and Finding Nemo and all that, I don't. There was great things to this movie. I'll talk about it when we get to our part.
Lightyear?
Lightyear. That's
Yeah.
a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never seen it. I didn't want to. The one with Chris Evans playing Buzz. No, I'd rather just see the Toy Story movies.
Yeah. So I'm going to take a question that Crystal actually
Luca,
asked
Turning
before we started
Red,
filming, before we
Ratatouille.
started doing this. Yeah, I thought it
Ratatouille
was-
is amazing.
I thought it was a pretty good question.
What?
If you were in the Cars universe, who would you be?
Oh,
Which character would you be?
Shit. Oh, fuck.
I thought about myself.
Stu,
I was
I
just-
think you're going to be George Carlin's, the organic one.
No way.
I would have figured I'd be.
No, that would be you.
I'd be Mater.
I won't
That'd be me.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. God damn, that's,
I like Doc.
Doc.
I just
I like
like
Doc.
that. Yeah.
Doc.
Well, not necessarily your favorite character, but it's more of
Yeah,
who
no,
do you
I-
think
I
you would
think-
be?
I'd be like the fucking asshole. It's like that crouching old fuck. You know, that doesn't want to deal with anybody. All right. Yeah. And then just wants to get anybody who's coming to serve this fucking shit, get them the fuck out of here as quick as
I'd be
possible.
Mac.
Get them gone.
Mac.
I'd be
I can
Mac.
see that. I can see that.
I'm a truck driver.
You,
That
you
fits
do
me.
enjoy having dudes in your ass.
Yeah,
so,
fuck
you know.
Fuck you. What the fuck?
Well fucking played, bro.
God damn it.
Oh no, I know who
You're
you'd
an
be.
asshole.
Who's that one? The car, one of the four that keeps black when he sneezes.
Which one?
Oh yeah, the Nova.
Yeah,
Oh shit, what the sneezy guy?
I can't remember what they call him.
Hold on. I'm pretty sure that was a Chevy Nova.
All right, so
But yeah,
Stu-
that's on par.
Yeah, I can see you being that.
So you'd be Doc.
Yeah, I identify a lot with Doc.
Mac.
I
Old school style.
honestly can identify with Mater.
Mater. Okay.
I hate to say it, I can.
And would you be what's the
I feel like. Hold on.
hey man,
The-
try
the-
this organic gasoline, man.
Delinquent road hazards. That's what they were called. Let's see here. Snot Rod,
It's not right.
Boost, DJ, and Wingo.
No, but Snot Rod was the one that when he would sneeze, he'd just
Yes.
shoot the flames out.
See, I feel like I'd love to say that I would identify the most with Snot Rod. But at the end of the day, I feel like I also have to accept I would be Tomater.
How about you, Mike?
Not necessarily.
Tomater loves life. He is a great,
Not necessarily
individual.
because
Yeah.
of this first movie, but when as you see him in the second movie, he's absolutely an autistic redneck
Yes.
with
Yes.
a hyper focus on cars.
Yes.
This
An
movie.
idiot savant in the second movie.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes, he is.
Is he really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, you know that engine right there. Oh, that's the worst one ever made, brother. I tell you what, they're not inches, they ain't in metric. Them bolts are just hard as hell to come by. There's only like 300 of them left in the world.
He had a tow truck, but he's also going to be the mechanic. You know, stand-in, and it's in a small town.
Yeah.
It's the mechanic that's operating the tow truck to, come and get your broke down shit, bring it back to the shop, fix your shit. All right, that is the role in a small town.
Yeah.
Everybody wears multiple hats, so that would make the most amount of sense that Mater
I guess
would
I'd be the Tomater of the motorcycle world.
There you go.
Is there any motorcycles in the other movies?
No.
No.
There's no bikes? I'm surprised. Figured that would be
Like how would
one or
you
two.
how would you articulate that? Just like cars, you can just black out the windows and not have a driver, but a motorcycle, what you putting on top of there?
I mean, the eyes would be on the
I mean, yeah,
the windshield.
but it's just
They're specifically going out of the way not to show seats where humans would naturally be.
Because a motorcycle
in this
just
world.
feels incomplete without a rider.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point. Mike, what would you be?
Sarge.
I can see it.
I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see it.
That works.
So
So everybody had a different one.
Crystal.
She's asleep.
she's got her she's got her headphones on.
Yeah, she's probably asleep.
I really feel
Up
like
here she goes.
Oh,
God, she's like,
Jesus.
that is like the stink eye.
Holy crap.
what the fuck you doing? What are you bothering me for?
no, because I feel like I, need
know
to
you
defer.
are talking about me.
I have to defer to this. Am I Snot Rod or am I Mater?
It's not Rod.
No, you're the douchebag that says, "Hey, we got a nodder."
Oh fuck. That's Boost.
That's Boost, yeah.
You start the bullshit and let the guys go off the road.
Even though it really does say when he says that, I know why he's saying that, but it sounds like a really bad racial slur. It really fucking does. It really fucking does. Like,
Yeah.
You're only
Come
Mater
on,
from the
Pixar,
second
do
movie.
better.
Yeah, she says I'm only Mater from the second movie. Fucking hell.
the autistic.
Good question.
Yeah. So that was, I took that from her. So she brought that up before we started.
That's a good one.
Favorite characters?
Favorite?
Mac. I'm sorry. I liked Mac. I thought he made me laugh because I relate to it because of being a truck driver and everything. So those jokes I liked. But if I were to do like more of the main characters,
Doc.
yeah, you know what? Exactly. Paul Newman as Doc, probably. He was just. I like Paul Newman as an actor, and he was actually really good voice acting for this. I thought he did a good job playing basically like a old school racer that just failed, that just got into that crash and everything. And
Now, don't get me
Took
wrong.
time out of his salad dressing empire to do this. That was very
Paul
nice.
Newman dressing.
Don't get me wrong. Mater is a huge part of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like he brings so much levity and
I
enjoyment.
mean, that's why they focused on him for most of the the shorts, the cartoons.
It's not
So
just the shorts,
it was
even the commercialization.
It was Mater's world, and we were all just living in it.
Yeah.
He was
Absolutely.
he's the big comic relief for this
I
movie.
mean,
Yeah, I mean, and,
he's just the view of innocence and joy.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he is.
Is Larry the Cable Guy even doing things? I haven't seen anything about him. Is he still doing stand up?
I don't know.
I haven't seen him doing stand up. I've seen him on a lot of other just different talk shows, but as
Himself,
Himself.
not the
Yeah,
Larry the Cable
not
Guy.
Larry the
That's
Cable
a
Guy.
that's an absolute
Yeah, I know it's an
character
act.
he plays.
yes. Yeah, I've seen a lot of him on different shows and stuff like that. Just talk shows as himself. I haven't
Yeah.
seen much as Larry the Cable Guy recently, but no, I love Fillmore, George Carlin's character.
Yes.
Just
He is doing TV shows. Currently doing
Yeah.
Larry's Nebraska road trip, where he will be performing in some of Nebraska's small towns. Now you know.
Yep. Stu, how about you?
Nebraska?
Or Mike, if you
No, I really feel that without Mater, yeah, of course, without Lightning, you wouldn't have this movie. But without Mater,
He wouldn't have fallen in love with the town.
yeah, the whole everything about this movie would have failed. You needed that innocence, that joy, that
Comic
happiness.
catalyst.
You needed Mater there, and I don't know what other character they could have substituted in to been as successful. So I would have to say, just because of how much he carried the film,
and he
Mater.
carries the other films even more. Like I said, he's more of a bigger character in the second film.
Oh, the second and third film, he is absolutely number two.
It's the reason why is because his popularity,
Yeah.
from this movie became so high that's why he became such a bigger character.
It's Lightning story, but it's Lightning and Mater, Lightning and Mater from this film on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the second one, McQueen took a back seat.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be like Sully and what was from
Mike
Monsters?
Wazowski.
Mike and
Sully
Sully.
Sullenberg.
Yeah. I don't remember his last name.
which landed on.
No,
Hudson.
I want to. Was I going to say it right, Hudson?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The
Oh,
Miracle on the
Jesus
Hudson.
Christ. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. When that landed in the water and
Yeah, he was a really blue furry pilot.
How about you, Mike?
Mater.
Mater?
For the same reasons.
Yeah.
For the same exact reason. Like he makes the movie fun, and like I think he's like Lightning is the reason for the movie, but Mater is the character you remember the most.
yeah.
Mater, okay, this is gonna be fucked up, and I know this, but also I think every one of you will be able to understand what I'm trying to say, and it's not from a negative standpoint. Mater reminds me of a Down syndrome person. All right, the joy that they have in life, the infectious that you just want to smile when you're around them because of what they bring to the joy, the innocence that they see the world.
Yeah.
All right, and. Yeah, you're just like, oh, God damn, I can't ever be mad at you.
You ever seen the Peanut Butter Falcon?
Yes.
Yep.
About the kid that wanted to be a wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. Fucking awesome movie. But yes,
I heard it was
100%.
Yeah.
I just
That's what it, if Cars had Down syndrome, if they had extra chromosomes, then that would be Mater.
But then he's more of an idiot savant, though.
Okay, so I found out recently this week, apparently it is more prevalent in the Down syndrome community to have autism than in the non-Down syndrome community. I don't want to say normal, just because that sounds fucking judgmental.
the
But-
terminology would be typical.
There you go.
Versus atypical.
Yeah. So it's estimated 16 to 32% of the Down syndrome community are on the spectrum, but a lot of them aren't necessarily diagnosed because some of their signs could be confused with the
There's
signs that
also
go
a
along
huge
with Down
amount
syndrome.
of neurodivergence or autism spectrum disorder that go completely undiagnosed in the typical community as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we just kept referring to
That's-
Mater as, autistic, especially coming to the
That's
second
like-
one.
You're gonna laugh at this, but I used to work with a ex-marine that was a mechanic. That man is autistic as a motherfucker. And I addressed it. I was like, "Hey man, don't take this wrong. Just out there, are you autistic?" And he goes, "Probably. I don't know."
Yeah.
But it like fucking everything this man does means he is close to non-functioning. And he's just never bothered to, like, he was in the Marine Corps. He was not just a logistics dude making sure that stuff got where it was supposed to go. He was kicking doors. He walks around, "Hey everybody, so."
And I bet you he was the fucking number one door kicker
Probably.
for them. All right. They all like, all right.
Probably.
Oh shit, we gotta get this done. Get Billy. All right. All right. Billy gonna kick the fuck out that dough.
My man,
right.
let me tell you, he when he's checking out a car, fucking everything gets looked at on that car. Everything to the T.
That's good.
But he's slow.
So, Mike, you said you had some other Easter eggs and stuff.
I got a bunch of. If you want to do yours, if
No,
it's
I've
not on
already
your
done.
list,
I've already done a lot of mine throughout the show. So if you can go ahead and hit yours.
So Lightning McQueen's tires were Lightyear tires.
Light years.
So it was a slight
Lightyear.
nod to Goodyear,
Yep.
but it was actually a nod to Buzz Lightyear,
Toy Story.
and that's proven by also on the tire is written Sector 4 Gamma Quadrant.
Oh shit. Let's not forget Luigi or Guido and Luigi's tire brand, which was
I didn't see that.
in the scene where he's going in to get the new tires. He opens up the little closet that has the 3 different stacks. Fettuccine Alfredo.
I was really gonna hope it'd be something like fucking Korean.
Right.
Really fuck you up.
They're fettuccine Alfredo tires, and they come in 3 different flavors. One is crema. One is what? Oh shit! One is crema. Another is latte, and I forget what the middle one was. I think it was cut off when I paused it.
Yes.
But since you mentioned Luigi, he's such a Ferrari fan. His license plate number was 44.5-10.8, which is the GPS location of the Ferrari plant.
Hell yeah.
The fuck?
That's cool.
Yeah, they go
They really went
hardcore.
hardcore in this shit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, we're nerds.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
we're gonna put this one. See if anybody will find this out.
I mean,
There's a
that's-
shit
I
ton
think
of
a lot of
license
it's more
plate
just for
references in
them.
this.
Yeah, just for their fanboys or whatever they're
feel
doing.
like-
But
and
there
they're
are
throwing it in there.
some people do inspect movies where
Yes,
they
they
look
do,
for that
but
type
they're
of
not
shit.
doing it. I don't think for the people. I think they're doing it more for them.
I feel like that's one of the reasons I love animated movies so much is because no matter what it is, everything that hit your screen is intentional.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, oh, he said this funny thing. That's just no. They thought about this
Yes.
and they invested, I don't know how many hours into crafting this to be part of the film.
Yeah.
Everything is intentional and you can just pick it apart. It's cool.
Did anybody watch the DVD?
No.
years ago.
It's been a
I
while,
have
but I've got I brought the three movie DVDs in with me.
So I watched the DVD and I watched the extra stuff, and they show that the Pixar people went on a tour of Route 66 prior to the movie with the writer of a book called The Mother Road.
Right.
Is Route 66 the Mother Road? Well, if you listen to Sally's courthouse speech,
She talks about Mother Road a lot.
she refers to it as the Mother Road.
Yeah, numerous times throughout the film, she refers to it as Mother Road.
Which is also a nod to his book. It's Michael Wallace is he's the one who gave them the tour of Route 66 and also wrote the book. So the Rusties guys,
Yes.
the
The syphilis.
their names on the show were Dusty and Rusty.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were based on two real people that do a car show. On the car show, they're Click and Clack, and they use the same catchphrase from the car show on the movie, which is "Don't drive like my brother."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then there was some significance of some of the cars that were on the track. The black and yellow car, I don't know what number it was because I didn't see the number. On the rear bumper, it said "Leak Less" was the sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an advertisement for adult drip pans, aka adult diapers.
Wow.
On the infield, there was it By and Large for Wall-E
Oh yeah.
Yep.
corporate? That on the infield, their logos on the infield, so they were an advertiser on the race.
That's cool.
Wally came out a little bit after that. Then he came out in 2008.
Yep.
They Pixar is good with putting
They foreshadow
Easter
releases.
eggs of
movies that
to
are coming
come.
out. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's a big one for that. I'll go to that one now because it's really in depth. When they're going past the truck stop,
Yeah.
so they're driving west into the sunset. So as you're going west, if you look at the sides of the trucks, there's stuff on the sides of the trucks, the trucking companies or whatever, and it's showing the movies that they've already done. The first truck says TS, Toy Story. The second truck says I, Inc. So that's Incredibles and Monsters, Inc. The next truck says FN, Finding Nemo. And there's only one truck that's the markings are facing east, which means yet to come. And it says OMB. And it's speculated that it means one more bug, so they're doing Bug's Life 2.
Yeah, they were going to do a Bug's Life too, but I think it was canceled.
Right.
Yeah, because I remember that was in the works and they never made it for some reason. But I think they're still thinking about making it now. I think they're going to make another Bug's Life sometime down the road just to bring it back. Bug's Life was fun. I enjoyed that one.
So that they love Emeryville, California, which is where their home is. So there's a couple things to it. When the Rusty's commercial,
Mm-hmm.
they do the Rusty's commercial and they show the bumper get all shiny.
Yeah.
The license plate on that car is EVILLEs, which meant for Emeryville.
Interesting.
And then they did the flyover of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
When the jets are coming in, they're flying over Emeryville. If you look down, you can actually see the Pixar film studio.
Oh, they actually did an outline of the Pixar studio?
Yep, it's an exactly where it should be. The rest of the town is diagrammed out properly. Everything's there the way it should be.
That's
There's
cool.
a lot of Easter eggs in this.
Oh, there's tons. As Mac is driving, you'll appreciate that. When Mac was driving down the highway, it was just a flash. But the birds from Pixar, the Pixar short Birds on the Wire.
I saw that because Sammy actually brought that up while we were watching that. So, oh, that's the Birds on the Wire. The one where it's the big bird and the little small ones.
Yep. Fillmore's license plate is 51237, which is George Carlin's birthday.
Oh shit!
All right.
Yeah.
I love it. I miss that.
Sarge's license plate is 41WW2, and that was the year that the Jeep Willys was introduced into service in World War II.
Yep,
No
I knew about
shit.
that one.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to have one of those like originally in crate Willie Jeeps.
Oh, no.
Oh fuck!
That's a lot.
I'm telling you, man, Pixar nerds. That's what happens.
When they're at the main race in Emeryville, outside there's a taxi that says Vern's Taxi. It's driving around the stadium.
Yeah.
You get a quick glance of it. There's actually a Vern's Taxi service in Emeryville, but the guy who was looking up this stuff, he said he doesn't know how they're connected with Pixar. I guess you can just assume that some of the executives there use Vern's Taxi service.
Yeah.
I would probably say more than likely one of the animators or a couple of the animators have used them more.
Yeah. Or at least they're like, if we're basing this off Emeryville, we got to put some other
probably.
things that are from the town.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, at the race, the Pizza Planet truck was there.
Pizza Planet
Yes.
from Toy Story.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
So Steve Jobs gave birth to Pixar,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah, I knew that.
So there was an all-white Apple car on the track, and the car's number was 84, referencing the year that Apple's
Apple
first
started.
computer went on sale.
Wow.
And I think that there was more. Like, there was a ton more.
Yeah.
But I just thought, like, okay,
No,
that's getting to
that's-
be too much.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. It's shocking in how much Pixar really puts their research into. I mean, how much, like Stu said, the fact that they do it for themselves more than anything, not just for the fans, but I'm sure there's a lot of Pixar nerds out there that are looking at all this information and finding all these. I mean, we're seeing like the little small cameos
Right.
of characters from other movies. Like I know in Toy Story, you see the bug from A Bug's Life, like on the leaf, the one that died, the caterpillar.
Yep.
On a leaf
Joe Ramft.
Yeah. So I mean, there's always these like little cameos here and there, and then all this other stuff I didn't know anything about. So, you ready for
So
pint
I
reviews?
think we're ready for pint review.
Okay. All right.
So, Ron, why don't you go ahead and go with yours?
I'm doing mine first.
Sure.
Jesus Christ. All right.
I'm setting you up.
Actually, I pretty much knew what my review. It actually didn't change. There's some enjoyable things in this movie. The Pixar movies are really well made. I mean, with the animation style and everything else, they're the in my opinion the starting of CGI movies. The Toy Story being the first CGI animated movie, and then so many coming out after this. But Pixar is really good with their characters and their writing. The writing was really good with this. The voice acting was great. The sound is always great for Pixar. But some of the characters, I didn't care for Owen Wilson as Lightning McQueen. For some reason, it just didn't work for me. I felt like they could have picked somebody else. But altogether in this movie, like I said, I didn't care for Owen Wilson.
DT250.
Owen Wilson just didn't work out for me. I felt like I liked Larry the Cable Guy as Mater. I thought he was great. Paul Newman was great. All the other voice actors.
Who would you choose as a recast for McQueen?
I'd have to think about that. And I can't think of that out of the fly. I just
that
didn't
is
care.
the thing.
I don't know. It's just Owen Wilson to me.
I
He's
kind of agree.
I like him as a
Supporting.
No, just a regular actor for regular movies. For animation, I don't know. For some reason, I just didn't.
He definitely has a very definable voice. It is.
I would have liked to see like John C. Reilly maybe. And he actually didn't he play in that the movie with Will Ferrell? What's it called? Fuck, I forgot what it was called.
I want to see
I'm on
it.
fire! I'm on fire!
I kind of want to see this voiced by Ryan Reynolds, and I know the dialogue would be very different.
Ryan Reynolds might have worked. I don't know. It's just I didn't care for Owen Wilson all that much. I don't know. It's just something about it.
I'm really fine with that one. I thought he did.
See, that's the thing.
It just didn't work for me.
He did fine.
He had a little bit of. He had the cockiness that came through in his voice, but then also the sincerity.
Yeah, he does have that.
All right,
But Ryan
and
Reynolds would have been more better cockiness, in my opinion. I think Ryan
more
Reynolds
better cockiness.
More
much
better.
better cockiness.
More
Much-
better cockiness.
Much more
Much-
better
and a lot
English.
more talking about
God damn it.
gentiles.
Time-wise,
Gentiles.
time-wise, this would have been around.
Sentinels. All right.
Yeah, this would have been right around Van Wilder time, right?
No, Waiting.
No.
Waiting.
Yeah, waiting.
Waiting was
Yeah.
a fucking amazing movie. I fucking love that
So,
movie.
but if you're talking like that Ryan Reynolds, where you've got the cocky young,
Yeah, that was
it-
2005. Was waiting, but
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it
it was
may
filmed in
have worked.
2005. It would have been 2000.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he wasn't high enough on the radar.
No, he wasn't. He was in, I think, because the first thing he started was like Two Girls in a Pizza Shop or something like that. Or was it Two Broke Girl? I don't know. He was
It was two girls in a
Two
pizza,
girls in a what?
in the pizza
what
pizza store. Pizza.
that was Two
place.
Girls in a Pizza Place. Or pizza
I think
shop.
it might have been Pizza Place.
Okay.
I think it might have been.
Yeah, but you know,
no. You're absolutely.
that's where he started. That's where he started off of it. But I don't know. Like I said, Owen Wilson just didn't work out for me. But there's other actors I think could have done better. But I just can't figure out which one it would be. But Ryan Reynolds would be a good one.
Cage.
No,
No,
I know Mike would love that.
No, two guys and a girl. That's what it was. Or
two guys-
two guys, a girl, and a pizza place. Two guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
Oh, okay. Well, then I missed one.
definitely sounds like a porno.
No, it's actually a funny show. It was actually a pretty funny show.
Yeah, had Ryan Reynolds, Richard Ruccolo, Trailer Howard. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion.
Yep. It's where his start came from, basically. But everybody else in this was fine. The story was fine. It just wasn't my thing. I've never been into cars and vehicles all that much. I'm a big truck guy.
You've been in cars a lot.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
No, into like
Basically all your life.
No, I'm talking about like
God.
into racing and everything. I'm not into racing all that much. I've actually never been a fan of it. I've seen it on the TV. Watch a car crash. It's fun, but it's not my thing. It's not something I would go religiously and watch on TV. But so when I give this an enjoyment, I'd probably give this. I won't give it a low rating, but it's not something I'd watch again unless my kids wanted to watch it with me. Say, hey, Dad, let's watch Cars. I'm like, all right, I'm
What's the
putting it on.
fastest you've gone in a car?
Probably about 85.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have a heavy foot. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't have a heavy foot.
Okay.
How about you, Stu?
You've probably got over 100.
I think the fastest
Of course, we're already all talking about this. Is obviously in Mexico.
No, this is on a closed course, private road, and definitely not, state maintained. The
100?
fastest I've seen is based on the TAC and the speedometer, guesstimating at that point, since we already blew past the thing, I'd probably say around 165 to 170.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. See, I'm not into going fast. Sorry.
I've done 110 going north on
I have a
301.
speed record at this table. This is awesome.
No,
I'm
but I
slow.
actually that was actually officially clocked by a Virginia State Trooper.
Oh, so it was calibrated
reckless?
and all that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Reckless?
No, I didn't get nothing for it.
For that fast? You didn't get nothing?
Well, at over 100 miles an hour. It's,
Nope. I was responding to a fire call,
oh, okay.
and without giving too much details to get anybody in trouble, the situation of what was going on, he understood why I did it.
Yeah.
Pretty much met me on scene and looked at me and says, "Do not ever do that again." And I was like, "Yes, sir." So, but
110's not that big. Man,
no, but going up a major highway at the time of day that I did it, I shouldn't have been doing it. But
I know.
and he The guy, he
had
he
a clear
literally
road, didn't he?
could have been screwed, but he
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
much just said,
if he had a problem,
It was
take
a-
it up with the people you were responding to, and let them know if they had an issue with it.
Yeah. Well,
I was kind of responsible for I wasn't the cause, but the location of where the fire was, I was responsible for that location.
Okay.
So
We're going to cut off there. So
Yeah,
you're
that's
not
why I
starting
had to
you
get.
know.
That's why I had to get there as fast as I did.
Okay.
what was your fastest?
168. Pretty close by.
Okay. How about you, Mike?
On a dark desert highway in Mexico, clocked at 126.
Okay.
On a closed track, 175.
Oh.
Ooh, very
wins.
nice.
All right.
Yeah, it was a Audi RS5 I was in, twin turbo, all that. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I was in a Formula car.
God damn. Yeah, no, I've never been in like a race specific vehicle, so
yeah.
that'd be cool as shit.
I'm just not in for
But-
speed. I just not that. I'm more of power
It is
than speed.
intoxicating.
It can be.
175 was scary as shit.
With the power comes the speed.
But enjoyment for this movie, I'll give it 3. I'll give it a 3. That's as high as I'll go for it. It's a 3. It's just it's not my favorite. There's better Pixar movies out there, in my opinion.
That's brutal.
But
You wound me.
There are better.
yeah.
There are better Pixar movies out there.
Yeah.
I enjoy I enjoy Wall-E. I enjoy Ratatouille more than this. Toy Story. But it's a 3. I give it that's high as I'm gonna give it. But
I'd
for
still say-
critical, I'll give it a 4. The reason being is because the sound effects, the voice acting, other than Owen Wilson, I liked everybody else. Paul Newman. I thought that the fucking cameos, the amount of research, but that's basically in every Pixar movie. I'm sure there's a shitload of those in just about every single Pixar movie that's come out, and probably even more in the future. But in my opinion, Pixar movies have gone a little bit downhill since they're not as good as they were back then. I think they were better in the early 2000s.
That's because they've been Disneyfied.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just gotten more just political and just gotten stupid. But overall, the critically, it's well done movie. I mean, the sound effects, the sound of the cars, it sounds realistic. It sounds great. Oh, yeah. The animation style, the bodies of the cars, and everything else is great. It's just I can't really complain about the animation in a Pixar film. It's really hard to really complain about any of it. It's done really well. It's just I just didn't enjoy the story and the characters for this one. I mean, I liked Mater. I'm curious to watch the second one. Maybe down the road I'll watch the second or the third one and see what those are all about. That's why I was asking if they're any better than the first one. But
They are on par.
Yeah.
The second one,
you said the second one's good, but the
feels
third one
completely
is
different.
But the third one's not as good.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's not one of those, oh, it gets another sequel.
It didn't
fucking
It
cash
didn't
grab.
drop off.
Yeah.
I guess you can say.
It's a slightly different kind of story.
yeah.
That's all.
But yeah, that's basically a 3 and a 4. So that's what I'll give it, 3 and a 4. And a 3 for enjoyment is still a good rating. It's just that to me is the lowest high rating I can give it. So because this isn't a movie I'm going to pull aside and watch again. You know, it's something I'd watch if I was asked to by my kids or something like that. There's other Pixar movies that I would watch over and over again, especially Wall-E. Wall-E's a fucking great movie because I love the sci-fi part of it, but it's just also Cars have just never been my thing, and that's why I've never looked out to watch it because I've seen almost every other Pixar movie other than this beforehand and afterwards, and then I kind of stopped watching them. But this one I skipped, and I know why now after watching it. It was great to watch it for the show, but yeah, that's how I get it. So,
Chase?
Critically, like everything else is great, but specifically look at the attention they paid to the sound design for each one of the vehicles. They did just an absolute bang up job. Coming from a gearhead to hear, they got that spot on, or oh, that's fantastic. Each one of these, the Foley artists were phenomenal.
Right.
I have to give them props. The rest of the movie was fantastic as well. I have to give this critically, just because of, I mean, just every part that went into it was top notch to make a great final product. I have to give it at least a 4. For enjoyability, I think I'm also going to give it a 4 because, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say Cars is my favorite thing ever. But Tow Mater is fantastic.
Yeah.
You do have a great coming of age story. This character arc with McQueen, it's all there. So it is very enjoyable and it's constructed very well. So I'm going to give it 4 and 4.
Okay. All right. Mike?
Critically, I'm going to agree with Chase. The sound quality and what they do with the sounds is amazing. But there's also some visual stuff that we didn't talk about. On the track, the marbles.
Oh yeah.
The from the rubber of the tires.
Yeah.
When they're coming by, you see the marbles on the track, which you see on a regular NASCAR track. To me, that's that type of detail, not overlooking stuff like that. I thought that was awesome. And I watched it. I've watched this movie probably about 20, 25 times. My son's 22 as well.
Yeah.
And so he was right in that age range where this was the thing.
Right.
And I disagree with Ron. I don't think Wally's as good as this. I didn't enjoy Wally as much.
Not many people like it, but I like sci-fi. That's why I liked Wally.
I love sci-fi, and I enjoyed Wally.
Is a super fucking loved movie, super popular movie.
I love that movie.
The thing you just said, not many people like it.
No, there's a lot of people that don't like it. There's even radio. I remember the Junkies even talking about how they thought it was the dumbest piece of shit they've ever seen when they talked about it.
Once again, Wally is a beloved film, just like Cars is a beloved film.
Yeah.
All right. The vast majority of people enjoy these films.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean the vast majority
It's
don't
just
like it.
I've talked to a lot of people and they don't care for Wally. They care for Cars more than Wally.
I'm not saying I don't like Wally.
No, that's fine. But what I'm saying is,
You can
it's not
enjoy
just me.
both.
I know that. I'm just saying that I've talked to people that said they do not like Wally. They think it's boring. They think it's a boring movie. I love it. I think it's a great movie. But I'm just saying from what I'm hearing from other people and even reviews from other people on radio shows. So, sorry, Mike.
For critical, I'm gonna give 4 1/4. What I'm saying is, if someone brought me Wally and this, I would watch Cars, and then maybe tomorrow I'd watch Wally. But
Wally has a
Cars-
95% Rotten Tomato score and an 8.4 IMDb. So that tells me vast majority enjoy that.
Yeah.
Cars, a 74 and a 7.3. So once again, the vast majority, not as much as Wally, which is more critically appreciated and loved, and audience-wise appreciated and loved. But both of them are still widely loved and accepted. The vast majority of the population think both of these films are really fucking good.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's just, but like I said, people I've talked to don't care for it. I've seen people that do love it, but I've noticed a lot of people think it's boring. They don't care for it. I've seen, like I said, the Junkies. When I remember they were reviewing it, they said it was the most stupidest movie that ever released because 2008 was a bad year for movies when that came out and stuff like that. It's just, I find it shocking because I don't know why people would not like the movie at all. I think it's, in my opinion, one of the best stories. It's a beautiful story. So I don't know, but sorry, Mike, I keep interrupting you about that.
Why are you gay?
For
I don't know. Why are you?
Because he's a Mack truck.
enjoyment, it's part of it's nostalgia for me because this was something I sat and watched with my son a ton, and my daughter as well. And I just think it's a fun movie. I'm not a super huge Owen Wilson fan, but I thought he was the right voice for Lightning McQueen. I enjoyed him in this part.
I think we only got one wow out of him, though.
Is that?
Wow.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 4 as well for enjoyment.
All right, so
4 and 4 1/4.
All right. Stu.
Enjoyment, it's a 4. Damn, it's a 4. Like I said, the soundtrack really fucking helps. The sound design drew you right in there. The walking the line of being a kids film, but also having enough adult entertainment in there to draw you in and keep you a part of it. Really, really well done. And it's something that I've watched time and time and time and time again over my lifetime because of kids, and then enjoy it myself. Critical. It's I thought very well animated. The sound design, like we talked about, really well done. I thought Owen Wilson was great as Lightning McQueen. I cannot picture
I can't either.
anybody else being Lightning McQueen without completely changing their personality. And I don't think, because he had to walk the fine line really
Johnny
fucking well. But then I'm thinking Rango. Then I'm thinking like him as Rango. I mean, yeah, completely fucking different. But it had to be somebody who was cocky, but not to the point where you're like, fuck this dude. All right. You had to be somebody that you were still able to get emotionally invested in without being completely written off. And he walked that line.
Yeah,
He
I think
really
he did a
fucking
great job.
did. So I can't imagine anybody else. Casting Larry the Cable Guy as Mater, I thought that was a stroke of genius.
Especially
Yeah.
for the time frame.
Yeah, exactly.
They were just that was a cash cow.
It fucking was perfect. Like nobody else could have done Mater justice.
For those 3 years,
Yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy was a household name.
Yeah. And it just made that character who
And then
he
he
is.
kind of just faded off. That's what I mean. He was popular for one point, and then he was gone.
That's how it is for comedians.
I know.
As
But-
soon as you get real popular, you pump out your best stuff,
He
and
also
then you're done.
has created a character, or embodied a character that is now almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
I guarantee I can show the picture to most people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's Mater."
Oh yeah.
That's a character embodied by this little stick of a comedian. All right, and made that popular of a character.
Yeah.
Genius.
Isn't his name actually Eugene or something like
Something like that. It's weird. But no, I really thought this was really, really well done. I'll probably go 4 1/4 for critical.
that? Daniel Whitney.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Whitney plays Larry the Cable Guy, who plays Tow Mater.
Yeah.
Love it.
So it's really well done.
All right, so 4 and 4 1/4.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, first I'd like to thank everybody for Mike, coming and sitting in on this show. I think it went a little bit longer than we all expected, but
Sorry.
that's good. It's not anybody's fault. It's good.
Oh, it's absolutely Chase's fault.
Yeah,
It usually is. I have a catchphrase for it, in fact.
this stuff goes on tangents. But no, for me, this has always been. I would have to say this is probably my favorite Pixar movie.
Really?
Yes.
This is
I
your
really do.
favorite Pixar movie?
I would really say this is my favorite Pixar movie.
All right.
And now that's not saying, that's putting everything in like, okay, here's the level, and it goes, so they're all kind of there.
Yeah.
This would be probably being on my top. Critical, I would probably give this a 4 1/4. Agreeing with what Mike said on, like you said, the marbles on the track, how they embodied different emotions and things with like just you watch the tires
Yeah.
as like hands, and they would just like slight angles and things like that, and how they moved.
When they got sad, they kind of deflate a little
Yeah,
bit.
they kind of deflate a little bit, and just things like that. It's just the real little details on how they made these cars embodied.
Extremely
human emotions.
anthropomorphic, yeah.
Yes, how well they did that. So for me, like I said, I'm at 4 1/4. Enjoyment, I'm going to say 4.5. Like I said, it's this is probably my favorite one.
I would say that is a completely fair rating.
Yeah. And watching my kids literally grow up with this movie from, when they're extremely young until now, they both, my son and daughter, will sit down and watch this movie. And we all love sitting down and watching it. So it's just a fun movie.
I'm the only one that was a dick here and gave it the lower rating than everybody else.
Well, that's because you don't know what's good and you think Predator's perfect. So
It's a fucking 5 out of 5.
So,
Agreed.
so,
Thank you, Mike. Somebody agrees with me.
so it's like I said, 4.5, 4.25. And
last little tidbit.
all right.
There is a fan theory. The Incredibles Syndrome developed this
I've got to read this.
artificial intelligence that the robots or whatever he programmed it into became sentient. And
This is after the singularity, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And and this entity, whatever it was, artificial intelligence is probably the most likely thing, had self-preservation. And before he destroyed it, it let itself out into the network and got itself into vehicles and killed off humans and sentiated cars, bringing us this movie.
And this would also be set after the fall of man completely. The singularity has the AI has taken over everything, rebuilt civilization in its own image.
What the fuck?
And that's why you don't see that. That's why you don't see baby cars. All right, because they're still manufactured.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if the
everything is
sequels,
still manufactured.
the sequels don't show or cars
that?
being born or anything like that. That doesn't even come into play.
Nope.
What's so where do they come from?
They're manufactured.
Factory.
So is so is the factory a god, or what is the factory exactly?
No, the
'Cause there's
factory-
humans.
Factory would be a birthing plant.
The factory, no, it is.
It's all automated.
Mac actually, he said it. He said it. Someone it thanked the manufacturer.
Oh yeah, thank the manufacturer.
When,
Yeah,
when they found Lightning McQueen, he goes,
the
"Thank the
manufacturer
manufacturer, we found you."
would be the creator.
Yeah.
Ergo
So that's a
God.
god.
And he was,
Yes.
and
So there you go.
Lightning was a model, according to Lasseter, was a model
Of Zeus?
A model year 2006 purpose built race car. All right, a one of one purpose built race car, but it was a model year 2006, which means Lightning was still an infant, a child, a baby, whatever you want to fucking call it, but a full grown adult. He came out as an adult. All right. All the cars come out as what they're going to be already.
So what's
All right.
what's car heaven and car hell like?
The
Junkyard for
Brainwell
hell?
toaster.
Jesus.
That's great.
Full circle.
I think car heaven's only been achieved by one. I think it was a Tesla that got shot into space. And car hell awaits everything else, getting crushed into a little cube.
Wally.
Yeah. Yep. There we go.
Oh, so that could be the hell for all the cars, all the pile of fucking trash.
Well,
right
we
there.
saw the ad for the company that made this giant space station.
Yeah,
Bimart, bar, or whatever. No.
it's all the same.
I want to say buy more, and I
That's
just think of Chuck.
creepy.
Yeah.
Crazy theory. What was that?
By and large.
By and large.
By and large.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a theory.
Yeah.
I kind of like
I
it.
have to read that. That's good at that.
That's what I was talking about. The implication of this film is it's post singularity, which
Kind of horrifying. I love it.
All right, well,
and that's why you don't see inside of the vehicles, because there's no reason to actually make it inside. It's
Oh
just
my
a solid
god!
panel.
Oh, what the fuck were they? Battlestar Galactica.
Cylons.
Yeah,
Cylons.
they're all just Cylons.
And I didn't notice they're actually. I'll have to go back and look. Are they actually door lines or are they doors?
I feel like there are lines.
I don't remember.
There's
there
no
are
lines. There was no lines.
No, on where the door. I want to say like
In
even,
car- in
even
the-
on
I
picturing
don't-
like on Mater, I picture like there's.
I don't remember seeing any
On
lines.
some of them, there were lines. On
Okay,
some
I just
of them.
couldn't remember. I was trying to think. I was like,
Why
they
would-
actually have doors?
Yeah.
No, they couldn't have doors because it was. I mean,
Yeah, you can see the door lines, like where the green, on the bottom. You can see where a door would be cut into it, and it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But it just could be just an indentation, more of an honor of where they
They're
evolved from.
vestigial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Got
this,
vestigial doors.
this has been a very fun episode. Thank you for the sort of the end of our animated series. We have a
The
little,
helicopter would make sense to have an opening because they still would have to weigh transport over vast distances. So
I like it.
it works.
shit. What the fuck was I talking
Helicopter.
You were saying
That's the-
thank you
that's
for
the uterus.
ending our animated series.
Thank you, our animated series. Our next episode, actually, after the animated series, since we're actually done, we actually gonna have a little bonus here for the top 5 animated characters. But
What? We are?
yes, top 5 animated characters in the
News to
movies. But also Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
That's going to be weird.
Yeah, that's the next episode dropping after this one. So for Stu's episode. But yeah, thank you for joining us for this animated series. This was so much fun. And make sure to also
Love you.
Fuck you.
fucking ass.
Ring-a-ling.
That
Ring-a-ling, that ding-a-ling.
Yes.
To get notified when we drop new episodes and stay with our content.
Yes, please. And please subscribe to our channel and comment and let us know what you think of this animated series, all the 4 movies that we've done. And we've kind of went to all genres. We went to crude comedy, dark,
Fucking space pirates.
adventurous pirates, and
Goddamn space pirates.
CGI cars. So, or computer animated cars. So, anyways, that's the end of our episode. We're going to go ahead and let you guys go. We will see you guys later.
See you next time.
Later.
Will we?